Oh, it is that time, and one of the best times of the entire offseason. As you can tell by our wardrobe, it's a little bit different here inside the vault. Welcome to our 2026 NFL Draft Ravens-centric Megacast. We have a guy by the name of Jeremy who is in the live chat right now as an audio-only listener. This is his first time catching us live. Jeremy, welcome in. We got a lot planned over the course of this evening, and welcome into all of our Vaultrons tonight. Bobby Trossett, as always, joined alongside my co-host and partner, Sarah Ellison. The Ravens will select at number 14 overall tonight, or will they? Will there be more? Will they stick and pick? Will they trade back? It's going to be a lot of activity regardless going into tonight. Our Megacast is brought to you by our friends at Mantis Sleep. They're back for more. And if you use discount code VAULT10 at mantisleep.com, you'll get 10% off your next order. More on them all throughout the evening. They are making tonight's show go. And partner, off we go indeed.
Off we go. And one of these days, we will actually coordinate our outfits for draft night. Because last year, I tried to, I would have matched your dapperness, okay? But you were kind of casual. So this year, I was like, well, I won't go so fancy. And I'll just have on just a jacket or whatever. So we are not matching, but I guess that's okay.
It's hysterical. It's the first thing we both say immediately upon arrival. So it's that kind of night. It's different. It feels different. It will be different. And for Jesse Minter, it's his first NFL draft at the helm of the Baltimore Ravens. They, again, will select 14th overall this evening, Sarah. They have the 45th pick on day 2 in the second round and the 80th pick in the third round. And then Saturday, just hold on tight. 8 total picks, 1 in the 4th at 115, 4 in the 5th at 154, 162, 173, and 174, 1 in the 6th at 211, and 2 in the 7th at 250 and 253. Sarah, do you have a gut feeling going into tonight? Will there be more than one selection made by your team?
I don't think so. I know that's what Daniel Jeremiah pushed today. And listen, it's tough to go against Daniel Jeremiah, given that he frequently gets it right because he was a former Raven. A former Raven scout, nonetheless, and clearly talks with people all over the league, including in Baltimore. So he may be right. I could be wrong, but I feel like the Ravens are going to stick at 14, and then tomorrow they will pick at 45. What do you think?
Yeah, I think tonight will be 14 and 14 only. I think there's a lot of smoke to work your way through. There's been a lot of news stories in the last couple hours, one of which is about a former AFC North wide receiver by the name of George Pickens. He's a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Well, what do you know, Sarah? Just a short while ago, the insiders, Schefter, Rappaport, etc., tweeted that Pickens intends to sign his franchise tag. Ian notes that the Cowboys extended an olive branch to agent David Mulugheta of Athletes First, as owner Jerry Jones and COO Stephen Jones called him with both on the phone to discuss franchise-tagged George Pickens' future. The call was professional and cordial. For those of us and you who perhaps haven't been following along, here is the timeline as it relates to activity surrounding George Pickens. And Ari did a good job of recapping exactly what's taken place in recent days. On Wednesday, Dallas announced they want George Pickens to play on the tag. He hadn't signed it, though, at that point, which meant that he technically didn't have to show up until the regular season. Hours before the draft, he signs it, as we just discussed, and that puts him under contract, and it requires him to report. The catch, though, it also means he can now be traded, maybe tonight, which wasn't possible while it remained unsigned. And yes, Ari, indeed, interesting timing. Sarah, he is a polarizing player, but a productive one. The Ravens had a front row seat to that for several years when he was a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's now in Dallas. The franchise tag has been signed, and perhaps fireworks will follow tonight.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Again, deadline spur action, and something tells me he didn't sign just so he can start showing up for the offseason program. Like, why sign your franchise tag hours before the draft unless there could be a trade in the works? Now, obviously, since we cover the Ravens, the question is begged. If he is on the trading block, could it be the Ravens? I don't think it would be. I don't see it. And I kind of don't want it. The Ravens grabbing George Pickens is not my priority right now. And I can't imagine he'd go for much less than what, like a second? That's what I was pushing for AJ Brown, a second, along with, Rashad Bateman, something like that. It seems to be one of the going rates. Some people have gotten firsts, obviously. So I don't see it. I want to see the Ravens use their picks tonight, not trade for George Pickens.
They've got plenty of them. Apparently, Nico Collins as well, according to reports. The Texans have received calls on their 2-time Pro Bowl wide receiver. There is an understanding around the league that he would need a contract adjustment. He's going to make over $20 million this season. That's what's going on there in Houston. We did put up a poll tonight. We would love for you guys to weigh in and let us know how you're feeling. And you already are as we approach 200 votes. Who are the Ravens taking tonight? We gave you 4 selections. And to no surprise, the fan favorite, Oli Ihenachor-Yawan, Penn State guard, leads the way by a comfortable margin at 56%. 27% of you, as we hit the 200 threshold vote count, with Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq. Ruben Bain Jr. has 11% of the vote thus far. And Peter Woods via trade, going back with our discussion this afternoon, as Daniel Jeremiah shared with us in his final mock draft, 5% of the vote here early on. Sarah, what have you thought, if anything, since we wrapped up earlier today when it comes to your gut feeling, what the Ravens do at 14, since you are believing that they're sticking and picking?
Yeah, I think it's one of those two guys right there. I think it's Ihenachor-Yawan, or I think it's Kenyon Sadiq. Now, there's an outside chance somebody like Ruben Bain could fall. So there's that. There's also an outside chance they could trade back and get somebody else. But to me, the most likely scenarios are those two. Vanga, Sadiq. I'd be happy with either. But if you don't go Yawane, I'm going to need him to go for a guard in the second round. You could do a center, but I think you can also get a center in that third round.
I could see that happening.
I was talking to her. I don't know if you heard her suddenly talking to me. Siri.
It happens to me all the time. She hears everything. She's very attentive. I could see that happening as well, that it comes down to those two. And then the third scenario is the fall scenario. And who is it? Who falls to them? Is it Fano, who's expected to go top 10? Is it Ruben Bain Jr., who has gone as high as friggin' 2 in mock drafts? There's such a range. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much at stake here for teams that are in the top half of the draft, which is exactly where the Ravens find themselves. One note, as of just a couple moments ago, Sarah, as it relates to George Pickens, the aforementioned conversation there. Rappaport is now tweeting that he's signing his franchise tag, but a trade is not expected at least tonight. So perhaps something goes into the weekend as it relates to Cowboys.
I said he might be a second round pick. You wouldn't announce that. Just like the Ravens when they traded away Hollywood Brown. They announced it like right before they made another pick.
Yep.
So if they do trade him and say like he's worth a second rounder, you would think they wouldn't announce that until the Cowboys are close to being on the clock in the second round.
Right. Super chats have begun as our night gets underway here. Eric has become a newest VAULTRON channel member. Eric, welcome to membership. Pete says, y'all Cowboys want to trade up, not down. No to Pickens. He's with you, Sarah, on the George Pickens conversation. Cool Kingdom celebrating 11 months of channel membership with us. For you.
He says, trenches, still have PTSD from the last 2 years. It is funny, Bobby, that like It's like you said earlier today, and you kind of caught yourself. You're like, yeah, I know guard isn't a sexy opinion or a sexy position. It's like, well, this year it is in Baltimore because trenches has been the word of the day since, well, I should say probably word of the last couple months.
No kidding. Cool. Kingdom. Appreciate you. I assume that's David and his daughter, Octavia. Max Season says, look at you two. Looking good, guys. Let's go. Max Season enjoying the wide array of wardrobe possibilities that we've given you guys tonight.
If not matching, at least still looking pretty. Look at you and the seersucker over there.
Summer came early,
all
baby.
Clean.
Summer came early. Honeyman is with us.
Honeyman says, shout out to all the truck drivers out there just picked up out of Dundalk praying for Sadiq. Oh, okay. He's praying for Sadiq. Go Flock. Been so long since we've had a good first round pick. Don't want to have to burn it on a guard. Now, hold on a second. What do you mean it's been a long time since we had a good first round pick? Let me show you. Here's all the first round picks that have gone to Pro Bowls. Okay, I'll just do recently. Nate Wiggins and Malachi Starks is still too early, right? Starks, you wouldn't expect him to be a Pro Bowl his first year. Nate Wiggins, he's been 2 years in, so maybe by now he could have. But Zay Flowers has been to 2 Pro Bowls. That was our 2023 first round pick. Tyler Linderbaum went to 3 Pro Bowls. Kyle Hamilton went to 3 Pro Bowls. You had Odafe Owe, Bateman, Queen. Queen went to a Pro Bowl. And Lamar Jackson. So look, you got it all right there. The Ravens have had 33 Pro Bowlers coming out of their first round picks since the inception of the team. Now, a lot of them went to Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis.
Yes, they did.
A lot of them. But right there, Linderbaum, Flowers, and Hamilton. Some good stuff there. And the story isn't written on Wiggins and Starks yet.
Courtesy of Ravens comms there as they take a look at the past organizational history. Here is your NFL draft order as things currently stand right now. And teams to watch, not just Dallas. Sarah, the Rams have treated first-round selections as if they're hot potatoes over the years. They're going to want to be watched for sure. Thanks, Honeyman. Justin Holt's with us, and he just hits us with a let's go. Justin and the whole Holt family fired up, I'm sure, for the night that's ahead, as is Stephanie. Sarah?
She also says, let's go, but adds a little bit more and says, I'm sure hubby is looking down on the Ravens tonight. Rest in peace. He so loved the draft and getting the best players. It's a nice sentiment there, Stephanie. I like that.
Mr. Stoller is absolutely with us in spirit tonight. Steph, thanks for your kind message and for being with us. Honeyman adjusts one of his previous super chats a second ago and says, I meant to say an early one. We usually pick in the 30s. That was in reference to this one that you read, Sarah.
Okay. Good clarification.
Just a moment ago. Honeyman, thanks for your second super chat. You know, throughout the evening here, Jason Smith, Huddle It Up Films, was kind enough to join us within the last few weeks, Sarah. And every year he puts together his Ravens-centric big board. And what does he do throughout the night? He updates it in real time. What a great reference for not just us. And here it is. You can toggle back and forth between the big board, and then he literally goes positional ranks as well. So if we need to, when we need to reference this inevitably tonight, we'll have it at our disposal, and you can go check out Jason's work at Huddle It Up Films. But Sarah, we'll be using this for sure throughout the evening.
Absolutely. And I want to come back to that in just a second. Can I just share this? Emmanuel Acho, did you see what he tweeted a few minutes ago? He said, I'm assuming George Pickens will be a Baltimore Raven within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Why is he so certain of that?
I wonder.
Is it me? Why is it so many people are putting emphasis on wide receiver like it would here? Why give up? Why give up draft capital for that? Or people pushing Kenyon Sadiq, or like Daniel Jeremiah did today, Kenyon Sadiq, and then Peter Woods when he has him trade with the Seahawks back into the 32nd spot for 2 first-round picks. Why isn't people more on the trenches bandwagon like me in the chat. Where's all this coming from? The Ravens need depth at wide receiver. The Ravens need insurance at defensive tackle, obviously. But I mean, they don't have a center.
Well, what about this, though, as a counter? The counter is, God forbid Zay Flowers were to ever be unavailable. And we have seen what that looks like in January, by the way. Go back to the Buffalo game where Zay was not available. What do the Ravens wide receiver room look like without Zay? And again, you knock on wood because Zay's been nothing but durable. But 2 postseasons ago, he was unavailable. What does, with Isaiah Likely departing, their wide receiver and overall pass catcher room look like right now? I guess that would be the counter to that.
Well, yeah, but you could say that for many positions. Sure, probably most positions. If the starter goes down, where are you at? Sure. My point is like, you don't have a starting center. You don't have a starting right guard. Like, you have somebody in pencil that might maybe be able to do it, but you don't know. So like you're bringing up a scenario of if your starter goes down versus there is no starter at center or right guard.
I think you can get tonight and throughout the next 72 hours. It would not surprise me if the Ravens go away from the big 4 that we've spoken so much about at center. And that is Jake Slaughter in no particular order. That is Jake Slaughter. That is Connor Lew. That is Sam Heck and Logan Jones. It would not surprise me if the Ravens zig while everyone else zags and they have somebody else in mind that they feel like they can comfortably get in day 3 that is totally off everyone's radar. It would not surprise me. Would that come with a level of unfamiliarity? You bet it would. And would it come with a level of uncertainty? You bet it would from the outside looking in. But they do their homework as good as anybody around the league from a scouting department. They've developed and drafted well before at that position. They've even got undrafted at the center position before. I would not rule that out tonight over the next several days.
Can we go back to Jason's board? Sorry, I didn't respond to that. I saw Emmanuel Acho and was like, what is this guy talking about here?
We can. Jason's big board is just getting going, and this will be updated. What he basically does throughout the evening is, as players are selected, he'll remove them from the big board so you can watch in real time who's available and who isn't.
Okay, can you go back to the big board? You know how you and I were debating where Yawane? You know what? We've been fighting so much with the chat on Vega versus Venga. I'm just going to say Yawane because it's starting to be annoying. So our guy Jason has him ranked as the 8th best player available. Now, Jason's not the Ravens, but I feel like that says something. So he's got Reese. Let's go all the way up to his top 8 since that's Yawane there. Reese, Bain, Tate, Bailey, Styles, Love, Maui Goa, and then Yawane. Now, what we need here, Bobby, is for pretty much all those guys to be taken. I mean, again, if it's not like if Reese fell or Bain fell, fine. But all those guys be taken. And then some of these tackles he has here, he's got like Maui Goa, Fano, Freeling, Proctor even. Some of these guys, there's been word that there might be a run on tackles early and maybe even trades for them. That's what we need to see tonight. Make a run at tackle, maybe even cornerback, defensive back. Take a safety, take them high, go ahead and see if you can't push a couple of guys that you like back down to you. And then you could think about trading back. Although they have so much draft capital already, I don't know why they would need to.
Yeah, we spoke about that potential projected run on tackles several times this week. Dre Dog says, Bobby, please take off that jacket. You look like a little child trying on his dad's clothes. Can you believe he just did me like that with a seersucker, Dre Dog?
He sure did.
With a seersucker, no less. Anaya's here, Sarah.
Says, let's go. Locked in tonight. Venga to Baltimore.
And Captain Jay Schaefer says, Acho is nothing but an actor. Tom G. Edits says, Yawane has to be the pick. No one else. Canadian currency there from Tom, who's got Yawane and only Yawane on his mind. Sarah, we've got Mantis Sleep on our minds because they're back, and we are so thrilled to be partnering with them for the foreseeable future this spring. They have been one of our longest standing sponsors here inside the vault. You can go back years, and all these sleep masks, as you can go ahead and take a look at mantisleep.com and follow along with us. We have a specific link that's pinned in our live chat. You can shop masks. I'll just go ahead and start toggling through, and you guys can see for yourselves. But these sleep masks, they give you true 100% blackout for a deeper sleep. You've got C-shaped eye cups for unbeatable side sleep comfort built in. Zero pressure is applied to your eyelids or lashes. You've got advanced materials and ventilation for unmatched breathability. You got a bunch of new products on here too since the last time we were partnering up with them. So go check them out. You see 60-day money-back guarantee. Over 2 million happy sleepers. They're very active in the Instagram space. They have a ton of creators that they partner with, including us here in the YouTube space. And again, use code VAULT10 at checkout. That'll get you 10% off. As we always say, when you support our brand sponsors, you're directly supporting the growth and the continued growth of the program. So thanks to Mantis Sleep for being with us. And the first of many guests tonight is a familiar face, a former Super Bowl champion, someone who has been all over this pre-draft process with mock drafts, live simulations, with different beliefs, a ton of research, and a whole lot of experience, given his expertise playing for several different organizations during his time in the NFL. It's Mr. Baltimore, and I will be working out with him on Saturday morning to set the stage for a wedding day. We're going to sauna together. We're going to work out together in the early morning hours of day 3 of this draft. Femi Ayanbadejo, kind enough to join us right now. Rocking his
Sarah's like, what?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's all good.
You guys are saunaing together?
We are. Hey, that's some man stuff. That's some grown man stuff right there. You know what I mean?
I know it.
Happy draft day, brother.
Yeah, you too, guys. Man, I'm so excited. I've been using the burger scenario where I've been eating burgers every day, and I love burgers, but I'm sick of burgers. Like I'm done. This is it. This is my last burger tonight, and I'm done with burgers. The draft.
I'm so over the mock drafts, Femi.
Yeah.
You don't even know. I'm so over it. I never did one.
Right, I know, but it's been so.
I got pressure too.
They've been so fun though. I'm not going to say I didn't have a good time. I definitely had a good time, but I overindulged. I got a stomach ache.
Yeah.
Give me your top 2 scenarios you want to see to happen tonight.
We have to end up with 2 offensive linemen, in my opinion, that are starting quality, and they're in the beginning of the first round, they're in the middle of the first round, they're in the back of the first round, they're in the beginning of the second round, they're in the middle of the second round, they're at the end of the second round, they're in the third, they're everywhere. So we are lucky because the positions of need for us, they exist throughout this draft, and I feel like once you kind of get past the back half of the third round, then I get really nervous if you haven't kind of addressed all that by that point. The two starting caliber interior offensive linemen. There's only 2 guys in this draft that are what I would call generational at the positions, at their positions. One is Jeremiah Love, and I've made the comparison. Worst case, he's Reggie Bush. Best case, he's Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. He doesn't have a position. He happens to be called a running back, but he is playmaker. He is positionless. He can run the full route tree. He bridges the current future Hall of Famer Derrick Henry to from this team. He bridges him and the Ravens to the future where he'll take over eventually. If he happens to fall to us, I'd love to have him. Sonny Styles is the other guy that is, to me, Brian Urlacher, but faster, more explosive, can cover, can rush, and can play the run. I think Sonny is really special. I don't think he's going to be there either. I'm going to go chalk. I'm going to say we're going to get a guard probably. It could be a tackle converted to guard, like a Fano, a Proctor, if we trade back. Vanga is everyone's favorite at this point. So yeah, that's kind of how I see the first round. If you ask me what I would do, I would trade back. there's a lot of trade back scenarios that I've really leaned into the last couple days, and they've worked out really well. We've ended up in multiple use cases of this, moving back scenario. I've ended up with another top 50 pick. I've ended up, depending on who we trade with, right? Because the further back we move, the more valuable the pick. Sometimes you can get a late second and a middle third, depending on how far back that team is in the first round. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. I was at the fan for 4 hours today, so my brain is just fried already. I've been talking about this nonstop since 2:00. But those are the I've been going, but it's all good. But I think you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Like, I don't think anything crazy is going to happen, but I'd love to trade back and get a couple extra picks in the top 100.
Well, Daniel Jeremiah has something. I don't know if crazy is the right word, but something that was.
It's a twist.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
Everybody's attention. And in his final mock draft, you see he has them sticking and picking at 14 with Sadiq.
Oh, okay. I see that. Cool.
But if he didn't scroll all the way down through the first round, you would have missed what he had them doing business with Seattle with. And Daniel does, and he knows a thing or two about Ravens ops. He has them doing business with Mike McDonald, Schneider, and the Seattle Seahawks. We don't know what the compensation would be. We pontificated on that earlier this afternoon, Fem, and maybe you can weigh in on what it would be. We thought a second and more on day 3, perhaps future or this year. We know they have 8 total picks on day 3 this year on Saturday. But Peter Woods is the player that's mocked to Baltimore at 32 as they trade back into the first round as they did 8 years ago, right around now for Lamar. Instead, this time it'd be on the opposite side of the ball. Defensive tackle out of Clemson, Peter Woods. Your reaction to that?
Man, I really like Peter Woods. What are you giving up for that? Are you giving up a 2027 pick? What was the compensation? Did he show it, or did he just say, hey, they're going to do this, and he didn't tell us how?
He didn't show it. I went over to the JJ value chart. I mean, I know it's not gospel, but it's one table to go off. I would guess they would need to give like a future third, somewhere around there. A current third would be a little bit of more value than they'd want to give, but maybe a future third, which maybe they'll have an extra one because of Tyler Linderbaum.
But year. a future third and what else though? Because you can't just give up a future third and not. I mean,
and obviously your second, number 45.
Oh, okay, got you. My bad.
45. Okay. I thought that was assumed. Plus the extra third. Yeah.
Okay. Assume nothing.
Yeah, clearly.
Right. Yeah. No. I think I could get behind that because I like Peter Woods a lot. I think he'd be a heck of a player. He'd be an impact player immediately. I guess what I would be concerned with is how do you address the guard in the center? I guess you're assuming that you're going to get a third rounder. Oh wait, you give up your second in this year and then a third the next year is what you're saying?
That's what I would do. That's what I would do to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul if you're not able to address both positions, unless you believe that the draft is even deeper than I think, where you do find or you believe so much in Emory Jones Jr. that you're like, nah, he's going to be our starter and we feel really good about it. We're going to go with Peter Woods. We need him more. Yeah, there's so many scenarios that you can work in your mind. And the thing is, we don't know how they feel necessarily about the current guys on the roster. Like, how strong and convicted are they about who's going to be able to be a starter and produce right away? So I would feel nervous for sure, but also too, free agency is not done. There's going to be some guys out there still that could probably be plugged and played, some veterans that could definitely be like a Kevin Zeitler type. I think sometimes we make these decisions in a vacuum and we forget that free agency is still happening. Like Deebo Samuel is still out there. There's a bunch of, Jadeveon Clowney is still out there. DJ Reader is still out there. And I got to remind myself that, like, you know what, there's other ways to get this done too. So on its face, Sarah, I'm for it. I like it.
I'm really glad that you just brought up what I think is a compelling topic before the draft starts in about 20 minutes. And that is, what will we learn without actually directly learning those findings over the next 72 hours? And at the top of the list is how they evaluate it, meaning the new regime, what Emory Jones put on tape, even though it was a small sample size last year, and what they've felt like they've had in him so far during his first offseason that wasn't fully dedicated to rehab, right? So I think we can all agree that that's number one, knowing that a year ago in March of 2025, he underwent that labrum procedure that put him back behind the clock significantly. After that, I think you can probably bring up a couple different things, whether it be wide receiver, but I would actually go linebacker. What do you feel like you have in Teddy Buchanan? And what is Roquan Smith's future? Femi and I have done 4 or 5 live mock draft simulations. And every time, whether it's a Jacob Rodriguez or somebody else later on in the weekend, we have had a really Caleb Elarms-Orr, for example, Fem is who we went with most recently. Was he TCU, I believe? So
yes, TCU.
That's something that perhaps this is a new regime. Now, granted, Tyler Santucci was retained. He's going to be their inside linebackers coach as he was last year. They're very high on him. He was a coveted piece, former defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. I think that's one of those sneaky things we end up learning about, and maybe that ends up happening in the days that follow the draft, depending on how they do business. But I really want to see if they end up bringing in an off-ball linebacker coming up in the next few days.
Yeah, I think that the implicit nod to the value and the belief in players, we're going to learn a lot about that as this draft goes on. And I would not be, look, and I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, but maybe once we get done, I'm going to go look. I don't remember what the Ravens gave up to move back into the first round to get Lamar. Do you guys remember?
I can look it up real quick while you're making your point.
Okay. So that could be a great comp for what would be equal pay, right? I mean, that's basically what they did. They moved back into the last pick of the first round and got Lamar, which is obviously the most important move in, I can't say Ravens history yet, but pretty high up there. Maybe draft day it is, right? In regard to a trade scenario on draft day. But obviously I want to respect the guys that I played with that have rings right now. And I know Lamar, he's not done yet. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We know what the ultimate goal is. I know Lamar knows what the ultimate goal is. But I think understanding what they did that day will tell us potential value and compensation for Seattle if that trade is made. And also, if they do take Sadiq and they do take Peter Woods, that maybe they believe there's more starting guards and centers than we believe. There's more convertible tackles and guards to play center than we believe that they know because they've traveled the country and done some things that we're not privy to. So that'll tell us a lot.
We were just discussing this, and I told her that I had this gut feeling that if the big four, one of the big four, doesn't hear his name called, then the Ravens feel comfortable going into day 3 with a guy that they feel like they've done their homework on. And what do I mean by the big four in no particular order? It's Connor Lew, it's Jake Slaughter, it's Logan Jones, and Sam Heck. And those are the players routinely that at 80 are there. Matter of fact, most cases, all 4 are there at 80. And Fem, what happens once you get to 115 where the Ravens begin day 3? There's nobody there of those 4.
Nobody there. Yeah.
And this is all simulations. We recognize that. But the simulations, take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, maybe that salt is worth a little bit of merit. So that's going to be something to watch. If the first 48 hours, you don't have your starting center, your projected starting center within your first few picks.
Yeah,
hey,
I feel.
Answer the question. Sorry, Fem. Just to answer your question on moving up for Lamar. They were moving up from the 52nd pick, which is obviously 7 further out than 45. So it's going to require more value. But they traded a 4th round pick from that same draft and a future 2019 second rounder.
Ooh, okay. All right.
So it required, that's why to me, I mean, you can look at how much everything's worth. To me, you're going from 45. So maybe you could give up a 4th and a future 3rd instead of a future 2nd. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. On the Jimmy points, right? On the Jimmy Johnson points, that sounds a little bit more appropriate. Man, I want to ask you guys a question. It's going to sound crazy, but maybe this is where we're at because I like the wheeling and dealing. I like this new regime and this new era of it feels a little more risk takey. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they really want to get Jesse and these guys off on the right foot, and they might do things a bit different. What if they believe so much? Now I'm wondering if I want to say it out loud. If they believe so much in what they can accomplish No, you know what?
Just say it, Femi.
Would they be willing just to give up their future for right? Just the three of us, right? The chat will lose their damn mind if I say something crazy. If they believe so much that, like, we've already seen teams with new head coaches really do well the next year, like immediately do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would they be willing to say, you know what, we'll give up our future first round pick in 2027 for a first round pick in 2026? You know what I mean? I'm not saying the 32nd pick. I'm saying maybe a pick a little higher, or maybe the 32nd pick. I don't know. But maybe, do they identify somebody that they believe could be a difference maker right now that's perfect for us, right? It's perfect for the Ravens. The same way that Sexy Dexy was a perfect fit for what Cincinnati needed. We would not give up what they gave up for him, but they would, because they need him. He means more to them than they'll ever mean to us. Maybe there's a player that means something more to us than can mean to another team, and that we're willing to make that exchange.
Is there anybody that you feel like is worth that? Is there somebody you're thinking of?
Because of the calculus of the board and the fact that I am mocked out in my brain, like, I need to see what happens. This is a reaction type thing. This isn't a anticipatory type thing. Like, I got to see what happens, and then I need to be able to react to it. And maybe I can react, like, if I see it coming and I look and I see, look, we are X number of picks back. We're out. We're not in the draft right now. There's 3 or 4 guys left. All 3 or 4 could be game changers for us right now, based on a need that would put us kind of over that hump in their minds. I can't say it now, but maybe during the draft itself, I'll say, hey guys, remember when we were talking pre-draft? This is the move I was talking about. This is the player that I identified. They didn't do it, but I would have done it for this player, because we're gonna need more things to talk about, right? Of course, the draft's gonna be over. We're gonna have to make stuff up. So that could be one of the topics.
As much as Crosby would be looked at as an outlier along these lines, why can't it be looked at like as setting the table for anything goes from this point forward to set this new regime up for the most amount of success? We began the show tonight talking about this franchise tag being signed by George Pickens, and why that could very well be a sticking point coming into tonight, related to a potential trade that's in place, knowing that Dallas has had a ton of different rumors and noise swirling around its multiple first-round picks that they have tonight. And that'll be certainly something to watch. I don't know if George Pickens to Baltimore has any legs to it. They are very familiar with him from his time in the AFC North. He does come with baggage, but boy, does he come with productivity. Christian says, look at these two. Casual Bob O and biker chick Sarah. I love it. Happy draft night. Christian, happy draft night to you.
That's a good one, dude. I'm stealing that. Biker chick Sarah. Ooh wee.
Oh yeah.
She's never been called that in her life.
Never. Not since the last time I wore this jacket. I've only worn it once.
Yeah.
It's almost as if Christian was a part of our pre-show call. What I referenced her. Liza says Bobby's heading to the Derby. Just needs a tie and hat. We're bringing summer and spring up to Baltimore from St. Pete, Florida this weekend. Bauer Power is here, Sarah.
And as the great Colonel Sanders said, I'm too drunk to taste the chicken.
Bauer Power setting the tone on the night. Fem, why don't you take this one from My Timber Shivered?
Oh, My Timber Shivered. I love this dude. We have 11 picks. How many more do we need? Hopefully, I think he meant to say EDC doesn't walk in thinking he's Jimmy Neutron and leave just looking like a Jimmy hat. Ooh, wow. My Timber Shivered.
I just love how Fem leans right into Timber Shivered, and then there's somebody I know that leans away from him.
He just makes me blush. Like, most of the stuff he writes, I can't even read it. It just doesn't feel right.
Hey, tell My Timber Shivers if he does a stand-up set, your boy is there in the house, drinks in hand. Let's go.
It is not a draft night without Timber Shivered being here. Dave says, in the house, need to commit to protecting Lamar. Sarah's right. We don't even have starters on the offensive line versus having a backup. That jacket. I think he's calling me a geek is what he's doing, because Dave likes to do that. And look who's here. Your Yoruba brother who's based in
Yoruba,
St. Louis.
Yeah.
His name is Amawale.
Yep. Bawani Wale, what's up, bro? How are you, brother? Yeah.
Dave says, and for the love of God, no one with a recovering injury. So Jordan Tyson for Dave?
Maybe, but now that we're talking about injuries, we'll keep going. Fem,
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about
Yep.
Madubuike? You sent us that very enlightening text on like the 3 scenarios. I know you say to be optimistic. Daniel Jeremiah is trading back up to get Peter Woods, which to me would be like, okay, maybe the Ravens aren't that confident about Madubuike. What's your gut telling you about what's going on there?
Well, so I know EDC said that it has no effect on the draft. And if we're going to BPA, then we're going to BPA. And if there's a guy there that they want, I don't think it should affect the draft. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to read too much into it. My assumption, I gave you the scenarios on the surgeries, and based on the timeline and the optimism, my guess is it's a loose body, or it's a singular level fusion with some type of discectomy, which is 4 to 6 months. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I nothing's changed for me. I'm not. I think, Sarah, this is the thing. If we let the wind blow us, we'll be moving left and right, back and forth, 24/7. Like, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on my ability to assess the room. You guys know how I feel about that. I don't let one thing move me, or one data point, or one individual. I look at all of it, and then I use my football knowledge as an analyst and being a former player, and I kind of put it all together. And I talk to medical experts, which I've done, and I feel really good about where we are. And this is the thing. Why not be optimistic? You have a choice to be optimistic or pessimistic, and both are a choice. I'm going to choose the positive one, because the outcome, based on where I stand, nothing's going to change based on my optimism. What's going to be is going to be. So I'm just going to be optimistic about it, because it's out of my control.
EDC talked about, we just referenced this. He talked about Nnamdi prior to the news that you see on the screen that dropped earlier this week from Adam Schefter, and how, if at all, that affects tonight and this weekend. Revisiting those comments quickly.
Yes, so I would say that Nnamdi's status doesn't really affect us that much in terms of like what we're going to do in the draft at the defensive tackle position. So, as you know, we just try to rank the board, and then whoever the best player is at that point in time. Certainly would love to get a young defensive lineman if we can. I think it's important to try and do that every single year if we can. It's an important position. We want to get better up front, certainly, on both sides, offensive and defensive line-wise. It's a priority for us, I think. And getting a younger player in there who's a talented younger player would be ideal. And it just depends on how the board falls and who's available at that time.
Got to have it. It's just a matter of when. If you wait too long, you're taking a flyer on someone that's why they call them lottery tickets when you get to that point in the draft. Then we saw it over and over and over again. If you wait too long, there's just a shortage. There's just a premium on these guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, you either do, look, once you get past kind of like the second round, like, yeah, there's going to be some kids available for sure, but not the quality completely falls off the cliff, right? So, Sarah, in my constant core principle to always push, to talk people off the ledge and not push them off the ledge, right? Did that help you psychologically in regard to how I'm gonna like mentally approach the Nnamdi stuff? I'm just gonna be optimistic, because my decision has no effect on the outcome. So why not view it positively, right?
You know, I think you and I are built the same way. I just know that you talk to those medical experts, so I wanted you to be able to speak to it firsthand. I mean, whatever. This is a different topic. I think it's harder to be optimistic than pessimistic. To view the positive regardless of the evidence, I think is sometimes tough to do. But you have lots of evidence of why he's going to be back. I feel like there's a ton of evidence that he's going to be back. He, of course, has to actually do it. He has to be approved by doctors. Like, that has to happen. But there's so much evidence that it's trending that way. And I don't know. This question I do have. Do you think that Adam Schefter tweeted that news out because the surgery just happened? Or do you think that there's something to do with like that the draft is coming up and maybe the Ravens wanted that out there because the national media have said nothing about Nnamdi. Bobby's one of the few people that actually got news on it while he was at the combine and like got ripped for whatever reason by some Ravens fans, but Adam Schefter does it. And it's like, oh, it's okay now. But like, I'm just wondering, do you think that it was just a coincidence that this news came a couple days before the draft?
I don't think anything's a coincidence, but I don't know the why. And I don't even care the why, because I'm never going to know the why. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to waste my time, well, you can care, but I mean, the truth is we're not going to know that. We're never really going to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but to your point though, the doctors that I spoke with and the research that I did said that there's a 75 to 80% chance that he comes back. Like that's the projection. And DeForest Buckner had a surgery similar to what Nnamdi did, guessing, like putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and he came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leighton Vander Esch. Remember, he's the player that had the 3-level fusion, and he couldn't come back. Remember? And so there's a couple. Peyton Manning came back. There's a couple people that got Sarah that I gave you in that thread, in that text, that I mentioned who had gotten the different procedures, and three of the 4 or 2 out of the 3 came back, and Leighton had the worst version of that, and obviously wasn't able to make it back. So I feel really good about the different experts I've spoken to, what I've researched online, the different players that have had something similar, the timelines that I've heard. It all points to a very, maybe not a pinpoint, like pin drop spot on the map, but a region of the map. I feel very comfortable saying he'll be back this season.
JR Crypto is with us, showing you a little bit of love, Fem, as we always do as well. It's a 50 spot from JR, who writes, "It's time, Vault fam. New regime and new threads. Very excited on where we're going from here. Love you, Sarah and Bobby. Bobby, I got the belt on and ready to yell at my TV when we pick. I've held that belt in my hands. Shout out to Femi for always dropping the knowledge," which he certainly is right now as it relates to Nnamdi Madubuike. Sarah, I cut you off there. What were you going?
That's right. I was just going to remind us of the name. So DeForest Buckner was the one who had a procedure where they just cleaned up a floating piece. That would be kind of the 4-month scenario if he had something like DeForest Buckner. The moderate case of what you're talking about, if he had to have a single level fusion, that's what Peyton Manning and Asante Samuel Jr. had. Now, if it's that and it's a moderate case, that's where the 6 months comes in. Now, if it's multi-level fusion, like you said, Leighton Vander Esch, that's worst case and a chance that he never returns. But that 4 to 6 months is based on best to moderate cases. And your feeling is that he has a floating piece that they just had to clean up.
No, I don't want to say that, but I'm leaning towards some type of floating body or discectomy where it's not a fusion at all. Because there's a discectomy part where they can go in and they trim the disc in between the vertebrae, but there's no fusion necessary. You know what I mean? So that's closer to a floating body. That's another scenario. But Sarah, I didn't want to go like there's best case and there's best case B. You know what I mean? I wanted to not get too carried away because the timelines for recovery are still in that 4
to 6.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I feel really good about that. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And I think if you take the time to kind of just do the research and stuff, I think you'll see what I see. And you'll feel comfortable with kind of and once again, it's cautiously optimistic. It's not like crazy, like unrealistic, it's cautious optimism, realistic based optimism. I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist, and I'm never going to float some nonsense to you guys because, I don't get down like that.
Let's do this. We're 3 minutes out from 8 o'clock. We've almost kept you for a half an hour. Let's cook through some of these super chats that are, some of which are directly referencing you. And then we're going to let you go as the draft begins so that we can start to multitask and get ready for 14. My Timber Shivered says, question for Femi. I have always wondered this, but as a dude who actually played in the NFL in different schemes, would you say that players actually know strategy and have a game feel better than coaches? The rest of it, he's got some choice words for John Harbaugh. But can you get some player perspective on that?
So would you say that players actually know strategy, game feel better than try hard? Okay. So there are definitely players and I'm going to use the best case scenario because Tom Brady, I think, is like the player coach guy that you think of when you see him directing traffic. Peyton Manning, it's always kind of a quarterback. But there are definitely guys on both sides of the ball that are coaches on the field. And there'll be times when we get on the sideline and we have a view and an understanding that sometimes from the sideline or maybe even from the booth, that you may not be able to clearly see. So it's really it's a patchwork. It's players on the field that really understand schematics and disguise. talking to coaches that think they see something. It's affirmation. And sometimes you just draw some stuff up in the dirt. You go, hey, you know what? Like, let's change this protection to this if this happens. Let's run this route instead of that route. Let's convert this to that. So there are definitely players on the field that totally understand the scheme and can read defenses. And sometimes there's guys that just say, hey, you know what? Just tell me what I need to do and let me go get it done. Like, there's levels to it, right? And it's not that it's not a bad thing. Some guys are just, they're more built for the kind of the schematic, philosophical part of the game, which gives them a little bit more of intuitive capability, which then makes them more valuable and helpful to their teammates and coaches. I hope that answers the question, but that's the best I could do.
Great insight as always. Howard Mack is here with us, Sarah.
It says right now we lack weapons more than offensive line. Likely is gone. Who's going to make a big play? Who's going to be the matchup nightmare? Offensive line can wait till the third. Now, I agree about what he's saying, which is why I'd be fine with Kenyon Sadiq, but I don't agree that the offensive line can wait to the third. Like, you can maybe wait for a center there, but if you want a guard, I feel like that needs to happen in the second.
Well, if you want Desante and Pregnan, you're darn right you're going to have to do it in the second because they're not going to be there in the third, fam.
No, I mean, the truth of the matter is I look, with all due respect, I don't agree with that. Like, Howard, sorry, man. Like, you can have all the shiny toys you want, but it doesn't matter if the quarterback's on his back. Like, you know what I mean? You can have all the DBs you want, but it doesn't matter if there's no pressure on the quarterback. Everything starts from the trenches and we build out. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in 2019. Tell me who the starting 5 skill guys were. Tell me who the second and third receiver were. Tell me who the backup running back was and the backup tight end. Most people can't. You know why? Because Lamar Jackson was slicing and dicing like Steph Curry behind an elite, one of the best offensive lines the Ravens have ever had. I'm talking record-setting stuff in 2019, and they did it with guys that just knew how to do their job. It was Lamar Jackson in the run game and the offensive line and that defense. So, look, I want shiny toys too, but I'm going to build my house and my garage before I buy the car. That's how I'm getting down. I'm going to stand on that. Yeah, and everybody that wants to debate that, look, no, we're not. That's not what we're doing. We got to start in the trenches, and then we go to the skill guys.
He says, we ain't debating it. Dre Dog says, one thing that I've been thinking about a lot, which has me leaning towards tight end in the first round, is how bad the coaching was when it came to the offensive line. This year will be much better. And on paper, that's probably one of the stories of the offseason with Dwayne Ledford, guys, a coach acquisition from Atlanta. He comes in, and not only will he be the O-line coach, Fem, taking over for George Warhop, who took over for the late Joe D., but he'll also coordinate the run game, something he did very well for Atlanta. Yes, it helps to have a Bijan Robinson at your disposal, but it also helps to have a future Hall of Famer, first ballot, in King Henry, who he's going to have, Fem.
Yeah, no, I think that I've made this point numerous times that the effect that Ledford is going to have is going to be so dramatic because of the regression that we had a year ago. That regression is going to be that drop is going to be eaten up, and then their offensive line is actually going to progress in a way that should be exponential because the regression was so noticeable. And plus, there's going to be guys that aren't going to be in the game. Like, let's just be honest. No disrespect to them. I know what it's like when you play bad, you lose your job. You got to compete to be a backup, and you got to work your way back into the rotation. I think that the improvement is going to be noticeable immediately. So I hear you on the coaching side, and the regression of the offensive line is a bit of a conundrum. Like, people didn't really understand why. It was a lot of the same guys. Losing Patrick McCarry should make us regress. So I don't want to beat that horse anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we know what's going on, and we should be optimistic about Coach Ledford.
I just want to add one thing because I agree with that. I mean, the regression was so hard that just getting back, or it was so bad that just getting back, it's going to feel like, ooh, this feels so much better. That being said, sometimes people talk about Ledford as if he's Jesus who can turn water into wine. There is no center on the offensive line, and there is an inexperienced potential starter at right guard. If you were to put, I don't know, a third-round center and Emory Jones there, and you say, Dwayne Ledford can fix it all, I'm not with that. So, like, yes, he's going to help things, but you got to give him some players to work with too.
I agree with you. And sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
Kobe Pruitt says, and the draft has begun, by the way. Vegas will be on the clock here in just a second. And so the multitask effort tonight is about to get underway. KP says lots of talk on Twitter about the Giants going Vanga at 10 is picking up. I also see rumors that the Lions and Steelers want to trade up for offensive line help. Here we go. And I got to be honest with you. If somebody's going to trade up and leapfrog the Ravens, guys, let them.
Bobby, are you hearing me in my mind? Are you hearing me in my brain right now? Literally, let them say, hey, go ahead, do your thing.
Time with
Please. Please, exactly. That's what it is. Me texting you at 11 o'clock at night. No, don't do that.
Oh, my goodness. Fem, you were going to make a point there on your way out here, and we're going to let you go. And then we are going to ask you as well to stick your neck out there and pick at 14 before you leave.
Well, and also, Femi, you coming out with me tomorrow night?
I can.
Okay. I'll text you.
Yeah, text me. Hey, Bobby,
before you go and do a sauna with Bobby, you're going to need it after talking to me for a while.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be a good distressor. Yeah, you know what? I don't remember the point I was going to make, and who cares? Like, we're good. We know what's going on. I've said the same thing for the last couple months. So, yeah, we're good to go.
And hey, here's what we're going to do then. We'll look at the vote in the poll and have you record yours, and then you'll bounce and you'll continue what I'm sure will be a busy night. We're coming up on 700 votes, and we asked everybody, who are the Ravens taking tonight? Oli Ihenachor-Yawan leads the way to no surprise at 61% of the share. Kenny and Sadiq is at 23%, so quite the drop off there. Reuben Bain Jr. in what would be a plummet at 13%, and Peter Woods via trade at the end of the first, just going along with Daniel's scenario at 4%. What say you of the options that we provided you?
Oh, man. I hope they trade back. That's what I want to happen. I think we're gonna.
I gave you.
I know. No, I'll go with chalk. I'll go with Venga, but I hope we trade back. I'll go with Venga, but I hope we trade back.
All right, there you have it.
Cool.
Femi can be found on X at ObaFemi30. I'm dropping the link into the chat. I'm sure you'll be commentating and throwing in your real-time reactions all weekend long. Thank you in advance for the help that you're giving us and the expertise. Appreciate those of you that super chatted questions in for Fem, and look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Can't wait.
Yep. I'll see you guys as I fade into the night.
Yeah.
I know. Look at you.
I know. All right, guys.
In Baltimore, baby.
It is.
Let's go.
All right. I'll see you guys.
There goes the former Super Bowl champ, kind enough to spend some time with us here this evening. And Sarah, we're coming up on that 2,000 concurrent number as our opening night coverage reaches the first 60 minutes. Thanks to all of you for being with us here tonight. Thanks to Mantis Sleep for the continued support of our program. Jeremy referenced that this was his first time catching us live because he's a Spotify listener. And what has he done on night one? He's become a channel VAULTRON. So welcome to membership, Jeremy. It's great to have you. Sarah, that brings us to Sheree, who's celebrating 11 months of membership.
He says, I hope Harbaugh isn't petty during this draft. Does that mean you do not want him to take Venga?
Sarah, the draft is underway. The 2026 NFL draft is officially underway, and the Vegas Raiders are on the clock. They are expected, obviously, to go with Fernando Mendoza, the championship-winning, Heisman Trophy award-winning quarterback from the Indiana Hoosiers. Linda drops in a 100 spot for us tonight.
Woo!
You're darn right that's worthy of a scream. And Linda with red banner coloring all over it for you.
Maroon. Happy draft day. I'm so excited. The video the Ravens put out has me so excited. The coaches are actually teaching, not just motivating. What was it that somebody put in the chat the other day? They were like, glad to see Mentor and Declan Doyle out there, because if it was Harbaugh, he'd be saying, what great weather for football. Like, leave it at that. Like, people are still trolling him.
Yes, they are.
Where else would you rather be right now? I like the Harbaugh-isms, just by the way, which is probably no surprise to anybody.
You live by the Harbaugh-isms. That's why.
I really do like to attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Anyways, he says it was time for a change, and that is very true, despite all the Harbaugh-isms. Thank you for your awesome coverage. No, Linda, thank you for your $100 super chat.
Yeah, super generous, Linda. Great to see your name flash up on the screen, and we hope that you're enjoying coverage tonight. It's the best night of the offseason by far. KP, this was for Fem. He said, what's good? Glad to have you here tonight, as were we. Richard says, thank you, Femi and gang. I've called for trenches for years. I cannot stand the number of, quote, we don't need offensive line, folks. And Wildlife Wale, a.k.a. I'm on Wale, says that the games are won in the trenches. As we've seen in recent years with Philadelphia and Seattle, Sarah, they have dominated the trenches, and Seattle dominated the league defensively for sure. Will Vegas use all 6 minutes?
Yes, because the NFL is going to want them to. Even if I'm sure it's already turned in. I read an article today, or I read an article this week that talked about that. Oftentimes, there's like a 3 or 4 pick buildup that they're like 4 picks will be in, but the NFL is just waiting to announce it, and that's why these guys can get scoops. It's like if you don't want people to scoop you, announce the picks. But they're trying to put together a 3-hour show where they can get sponsors and make millions. So you got to deal with the scoops, I guess.
And they do it well time and time and time again. This is
Vegas probably turned in their pick like 3 months ago.
This is the same group, and there's a wide shot of Fernando and his family in Miami. What an amazing story that's been for him. And his reasoning, Sarah, was for his mother's logistical concerns, travel-wise, for why he's not in Pittsburgh. He is a really, really impressive young man, and he will be joining the Vegas Raiders in just a couple moments from right now, surrounding his entire family in the comforts of their own home in Miami. Pete says, the draft's on my laptop, y'all on my tiny dorm TV. I told you earlier, I thought very much so that it would be a multi-screen night, especially for our, let's see, he's not a millennial. What are you, Pete? Are you Gen Z? Let us know what our nephew is. He's a sophomore or junior at Salisbury, so I think that would make him Gen Z.
Right?
Yeah. By the way, if we're sticking with the overall projected timeline, Sarah, I think we're looking at around 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock-ish for when the Ravens would be on the clock.
Okay, we're a little less than 2 hours out from that.
We are. So let's get another read in here. We want to say thanks to Mantis Sleep for the continued support of our program. And if you use code VAULT10 at mantisleep.com, which we have a direct link to in the live chat, you can go get a sleep mask for yourself at a 10% discount. These guys are our longest standing sponsor. All these sleep masks give you true 100% blackouts for deeper sleep. C-shaped eye cups are built in for unbeatable side sleep comfort. Zero pressures applied to your eyelids or lashes. You've got advanced materials and ventilation for unmatched breathability. And Sarah, they tricked out the website since the last time we've been working with them. Look at all this.
They have. Looks great.
Doesn't it ever? This is like real clean. Anybody that needs white noise or any kind of background noise to sleep, they've got a few different options there, including their white noise machine. They have a dual white noise machine and a booster speaker. So take your pick. Earplugs for travel purposes, or perhaps your spouse snores. And again, all of these sleep masks there for the taking. Thanks to them for powering this channel, powering tonight's Megacast. And we appreciate you guys for being with us as the 2026 NFL Draft gets underway. And sure enough, here it is, Sarah. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza goes number 1 overall to the Vegas Raiders. Clint Kubiak will try and lead them to the promised land in year 1 as their head coach. And we are off and running tonight.
You know what? I mean, Vegas, this is going to be interesting. We'll see how Mendoza fares in the NFL. But the fact that the Raiders got back Max Crosby, who I do anticipate will have a good year. That was never the issue with the Ravens. It was more his long-term health and how long that knee could hold up. But they got Max back. They got Linderbaum over there, which is an experienced Pro Bowler who can help Mendoza out. So we'll see. I mean, they have a surrounding cast, but just like with everybody, the league is divided up between franchises that have a quarterback and franchises that don't have a quarterback. So they now have a new quarterback, but whether he actually can make it on this level, we're about to find out. Do you have any feelings on that? On like whether he's gonna succeed out at this level?
They paid a ton of money to surround him with a supporting cast, which most quarterbacks in Vegas have not had for years running now. You have a young head coach who's compiled a staff around him that is experienced and that I think will help him putting out those fires that inevitably come up that Jesse will have to conquer as well as a first-year head coach. And oh, by the way, while this isn't the be all end all, you have Tom Brady at your disposal. And so I think from a developmental standpoint, will Fernando be the guy week one, or will Tom step in and say, hey, I've been vocal in years past about the lack of development in this league. We went out and got Kirk Cousins for a reason. Let's ease Fernando Mendoza into his NFL career. I'd be surprised if they go that route, but I wouldn't put it past him because Tom is a minority owner. He has a stake. He has a voice, and he's been very outspoken about that very topic. Quarterbacks being thrown to the wolves over the years in this league, that everything is about winning now. So I guess to answer your question, they got a lot of talent around him. I think he'll take his lumps like any rookie quarterback will, but I want to see the plan in place because they went out and paid Kirk Cousins for a reason. Will they use him, or will he be Fernando's primary backup right from the jump? We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. So who's on the clock? The Jets are up next.
Yes, and we have a couple super chats as well.
Okay.
My name good says that Simpson signing still surprises me when we could have signed Zeitler. First pick, Vanga, trade the second to move up for a defensive tackle. Third pick, sign a center, and then bring in David Njoku after the draft. So my name good. Okay, I see what you're doing here. Wouldn't you rather, and maybe you don't want to get into bidding war with the Giants, who are more desperate, knowing that Dexter Lawrence is no longer a part of their organization, but wouldn't you at least want to make a play for Jadeveon Clowney or DJ Reader before you would Njoku? I know I would, Sarah, in terms of priorities.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I try to say that. Yeah, I want young. I just don't. Femi was just on here. He really likes Njoku. I prefer. You've already got a veteran, Mark Andrews. I feel better about double dipping and getting 2 tight ends here and letting them cook. It just seems like the Ravens have done well with that. I just don't know that I need to sign Njoku.
My name good. Thanks for the super chat. My Timber Shivered says everybody has discussed trading back, but what if we trade up to get Francis Mauigoa? I highly doubt it would happen, but you talk about getting the best lineman in the draft. It's between him and Vanga. That is expensive to go and do it, but he is believed to be the top guy. If he falls to them at 14, it would be stunning. It would be expensive to go and get him for sure.
Femi just talked about that. He said that because the Ravens have, he seems to feel like because there's a new coach that the Ravens are in a just all out, let's win right now mode, partly to help mentor out, but also because how many more years of prime years are you going to have Lamar since all those rookie year or the rookie contract years were, I say wasted, but you know what I mean by that. They were all fun years and phenomenal years to watch, but wasted in terms of falling short of a Super Bowl.
Sarah, the second pick is
so
in.
Maybe that's what Femi was saying is like, maybe they would move up. Maybe we will have, maybe that's why Daniel Jeremiah showed that they would move back up into the second round. Like maybe they're doing all that because they want to go all out this year.
Sarah, the Jets have their first of 2 first-round selections. It is in, and they are selecting Texas Tech pass rusher David Bailey with the second overall selection in tonight's NFL draft. So Mendoza goes 1 as expected, and the first somewhat surprise happens at 2, and that is David Bailey, who's going to the New York Jets with Aaron Glenn and company. That's where we stand 2 picks into tonight. Wildlife Wale says Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos. How much better can the Raiders get? Sarah, it is a very difficult AFC West division.
It really is. I mean, the Broncos obviously broke out last year. Who knows how far they could have gotten if Bo Nix wasn't injured on that final series of the divisional round game that happened in? I mean, I feel like the Patriots had such an easy road to get the Super Bowl, and they got blown out. I imagine Broncos could have given the Seahawks a better run, but maybe the Seahawks would have won anyway. You got the Broncos, Chiefs. You've got obviously your quarterback coming back, Patrick Mahomes, from injury. And the Chargers have been better under Jim Harbaugh. They've been more solid. They've been a playoff-worthy team. And so, yeah, the Raiders have an uphill climb.
So, Sarah, the Jets will pick again tonight at 16. They go with David Bailey, second overall. That puts the Arizona Cardinals on the clock. And I'd have to think that Jeremiah Love won't have to wait much longer to hear his name called. He is the do-it-all, positionless playmaker for Notre Dame. He's listed as a running back, but as Femi said, there is no route tree that he seeks discomfort in. The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and we're off and running here on our 2026 NFL draft coverage. The Ravens sit at 14 right now. And Sarah, this is when you got to start bracing yourself for Dallas and perhaps the Rams, if not Carolina. There are teams that need tackles. Minnesota needs a tackle. This is where you just kind of sit and wait and see if there's any kind of team that gets desperate and is willing to leapfrog in the minutes ahead.
So you just mentioned Jeremiah Love. You think that's who the Cardinals are pinpointing?
That would be on my short list of predictions. Yes.
Let's bring back up. I just want to see Daniel Jeremiah's. He's gotten the first two, right? What, did he have a trade here?
Let's see. Did he have a
with
trade
New
here?
Orleans at number 3?
Oh, you're darn right. He had a trade here.
He sure
He's got
did.
the Saints moving up to 3 to get Arvell Reese. Okay.
Okay. Where were they? Where did Cardinals drop to?
Yeah, Arizona.
They are number 8.
Yeah, they went to 8. Yep. And they still walk. And look who they still walked away with. but here's what they don't have. You want to know what they don't have?
Jeremiah Love.
A quarterback for Francis Maligoa to protect.
And they really can't stretch for one right here either.
But you know what though? Look at what DJ
Guys, this is a mock draft. I don't know if people are thinking that we're saying that they did this. This was Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft.
Yeah. And look, DJ cleaned it up at the end, right? They still got Ty Simpson before it was all said and done. Yeah. So they got their Alabama quarterback at 25, and then they get his protector in Francis Maligoa. This is the mock draft, as you just said, with Daniel Jeremiah. The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. It is the 3rd overall selection this evening. I know everybody's being misled by this. Here's the order. Okay. Here is your order. even though at the top it said in massive, bold mock draft.
Yeah. Okay. So the team I'm obviously looking at, and I know a lot of Ravens flock is that number 5 with the New York Jets. I want to know.
New York Giants, 5.
New York Giants, my bad. The New York Giants. I want to know who John Harbaugh is eyeing. And then he's back on the clock at number 10.
Yes, he is.
If he wants to be petty, as some are asking, he has 2 shots at it. But honestly, Harbaugh is going to go for whoever they think is best. But the point is, he might think a lot like EDC does right now because they've been drafting together for 18 years.
Okay, Sarah, I had a hunch, and that hunch led me directly and correctly. The Cardinals are selecting Notre Dame do-it-all, positionless running back, Jeremiah Love, with the 3rd overall selection. So Jeremiah Love is off the board. It's gone Fernando Mendoza to Vegas, David Bailey to New York, and now Jeremiah Love to Arizona with the Tennessee Titans next up at the 4th overall pick tonight.
He's just such a stud. Like, when you go through the mock draft scenarios as we do for months and months and months, sometimes you try to envision the Ravens with lots of different players. And Jeremiah Love would have honestly been, him and King Henry back there and Lamar Jackson would have been absolute cinema. Just cinema to watch. But Cardinals got themselves a nice weapon right there. And did Femi just say he thinks that he could be Gordon
No, he had Jahmyr Gibbs
Gibbs.
and
There we go. Gibbs is what I meant.
he had Jahmyr Gibbs at best, I believe, and
Mhm.
Reggie Bush at worst. I think that was my interpretation of it. And that's no knock on Reggie. It's just Jahmyr's on another level.
Right.
Jahmyr Gibbs. The Ravens were reminded of that when he came to Baltimore on Monday Night Football last year. So there you have it. Mike LaFleur, who's a first-year head coach, brother of Matt for Arizona. His first pick of his tenure with the Cardinals is Jeremiah Love. So that's where things stand right now. We have our NFL tracker up on the screen, and we do have another super chat from My Name Good. He says, I agree with Bobby. Clowney and Reeder would be great, but I don't want a young tight end. I'd rather we have Njoku, since we're in win now, but don't have time to develop, only have Henry for so long. Yeah, so look, Njoku, they better be comfortable with the medical, My Name Good, because he's been banged up a little bit. They know him very well, obviously, from the AFC North battles over the years. I'll never forget, Sarah, when he played after some serious burns and played well. And I think he would help the Ravens, but I would rather go young, to be honest with you, from a historical standpoint, knowing that they are really, really talented at developing and cultivating and let's say this, targeting and developing. Targeting, what do I mean by that? Finding players in that 4 through 6 range, 3 through 6. Heck, maybe they even use the first round on a tight end tonight. We'll see. And then after that, the development part. It is a new regime, but I think the history continues to repeat itself at that position, Sarah.
Okay, Bobby. So there's some people in the chat who are upset, and we're just gonna have to let people know what we're doing. Some people are upset that we know the picks before it's going on TV, and are like, "Dang it, don't tip it." But that is what we're gonna be doing tonight, because the picks are known long before it makes TV, and we know why they do it in TV the way that they do. They've got sponsors. They need to have so many commercial breaks. They need to space these out to elongate the show. They're trying to make it a production. But the picks are out there, and they're out there because the picks have been turned in, and the national media know it. So we're gonna have some spoilers tonight.
Yeah, maybe just some new subscribers. This is our 5th time doing this together. And unfortunately, when you're in real time, the way that we are, doing this as a 2-man band, you kind of just have to go as quickly as possible. So we hope that you guys will, see that. And if you have to mute us at times for the purpose of spoiler alert, or to avoid spoiler alert, please feel free. Linda, with a second super chat this evening, says, why do I feel like John is petty and will try to foil the Ravens? Just ordered my latest Mantis sleep mask. Linda,
Nice.
I am going to screenshot this, Linda, because Manta is so thrilled to be back with us. And guess what? We feel the exact same to be back with them. They are our longest standing sponsor. Guys, you know the drill at this point.
We just re-upped with them yesterday. Really
We
this
did.
morning.
We
really
did.
this morning. So yeah, screenshot that. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? Look, I feel like I've peeled the curtain back before. The Titans are sticking and picking at 4. Okay, so Tennessee is on the clock right now, and the Titans are sticking and picking at 4. No trades from the insider crew. So hang on tight here, but just want to finish that thought and say that 4 or 5 years running, which we are now, you can't do it without the support of our partners. So when you support them, you're directly supporting continued growth of this program and what we've been doing year-round, around the clock to get it off the ground and allow it to sustain itself. So Linda, appreciate you. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're coming up on that 30,000 subscription number. We would love to hit that at some point soon. Jeremiah Love currently interviewing for the first time in an Arizona Cardinals cap as we await what the Tennessee Titans, Sarah, will do at number 4. And here it is. Ho, ho, ho.
Do they get Reese?
No, they did not.
What?
And this was a player that I saw all the way down in Ravensland in some mocks. He goes number 4, and that is Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate, who's off the board at 4 to Tennessee.
There you go. There you go, Titans. Okay. It's funny, Bobby, because we did do a poll a while back about wide receivers that people wanted. And like, we didn't make it. We didn't put Tate as one of the options because we didn't feel like it was at all realistic that he was going to make it to 14. Some people yelling at us saying, well, he could. Nah, he's gone 10 spots ahead of the Ravens to number 4, Tennessee.
Let me tell you, that's the first significant shakeup tonight, as you just alluded to. And this is why, while it's not the deepest draft, while it's not the most notable draft ever, while it's not exactly quarterback filled, so on and so forth, the first half of opening night promised to be compelling, and it already is 4 picks in. Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate is off the board, and all of a sudden, Arvell Reese, 4 picks into this draft, Sarah, and 10 away from where the Ravens sit, is still on the board.
Yeah, I thought he'd go earlier than that. And where did Danny Jeremiah have him going? Yeah, he had the Saints trading up to number 3 to get him.
Yeah.
Listen, he's not going to fall to 14, but at what point do you say, well, maybe we should trade up for Reese?
Let me tell you.
Like if he made it to 8, would you trade up? 9?
Let me think about how I'm feeling about that in a few minutes' time. You know, Arvell Reese being available will make me ponder that over the coming minutes ahead.
Okay.
Because the Ravens currently are 10 away from being on the clock. They are 10 picks away from being on the clock. Wildlife Wale says there's really no way John can be petty to us. A stud will be there at 14 regardless. Much like it was, Sarah, 4 years ago when Kyle Hamilton fell to them at 14.
Bobby, Jeff and I are on the same page. Jeff Zrebeck just tweeted, not sure what the Ravens see their, quote, trade-up window, but with Avril Reese still available, a trade would be awfully enticing.
Yeah, not saying I'm not on the same page. I just need time to process. I need a couple more picks here to really think about what that would entail. There's a couple more picks for it to become real. How about that? Okay. Nagasaki says, Reese is falling. Do I dare have hope? Here we go. Sarah, you guys are all lockstep. It's a trio of you.
Like, again, I guess I don't really know the number. Like, obviously, 4 or 5 is still too early. I mean, maybe Harbaugh will pick him up. Maybe he'll pick him up at 5.
Here we go. The John Harbaugh era has begun in New York. He will pick, and Joe Shane, who's making these picks, Joe Shane or John Harbaugh? And here it is.
I think that the whole reason why John Harbaugh's contract was delayed is that he wanted to make sure who had final say, and it's John Harbaugh.
Sarah, the discussion was short-lived. Arvell Reese has been selected with the 5th overall selection by John Harbaugh and the Giants. His tenure begins with the Ohio State pass rusher who's joining the Giants. Arvell Reese goes 5th overall. And now, let's see who's 6th. That is the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken will make his first selection with Andrew Berry as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
What do you think Todd wants over there? What does Todd want over there?
I think Cleveland goes tackle.
Yeah, I do too. And could they start the run on tackle?
I think so. I think Cleveland's going to start the tackle run. DJ had him as DJ had them going with Fano. So there you have it. But will it be Mauigoa or Fano? Which one will it be? We'll wait and see.
Regardless, I think both of them are going to be gone by the time 14 comes around.
Yeah. But that run was anticipated. That run was discussed at length. And now we'll see if it comes to fruition in the coming moments ahead. Wildlife Wale says the longer that Reese waits, which was not long, the closer we are to Ruben Bain. And again, Wale probably saw this the second after he pressed send, that Arvell Reese has gone to the New York Giants, the 5th overall. And
I bet John
the first trade of the night has come in, Sarah. The first trade of the evening has come in.
Bro, we are cooking. We're going fast. Go ahead.
We're off and running. Cleveland has traded the 6th pick to the Chiefs. Who is Kansas City going to get? Here comes Andy Reid and company.
I bet they're coming for their own tackle.
Here we go. Cleveland is trading the 6th overall selection to the Kansas City Chiefs, and that means that Andy Reid and company, Sarah, have somebody specific in mind. Off we go. Buckle up. Will it be Ruben Bain?
Where are the Chiefs moving up from? Are they 29? Or do they have another?
Kansas City is at 9. So it's only a few picks. They're moving from 9 to 6.
So they're trying to jump the Saints and the Commanders for a reason.
You already know it. And I think we both know what's about to happen here. Something tells me that Ruben Bain or one of these tackles is coming off the board right now.
Yeah, I would think I feel like it's going to be a tackle. I mean, I guess they could also, obviously they could use Ruben Bain. Do you already know what it is?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Well, as we await that, I just want to say, I bet John Harbaugh ran that card up because all of us were like, Avril Reese is still there. He made it to number 5. And John Harbaugh's like, what? This always used to happen to the Ravens all the time. So,
how quick, right?
Reese,
how
let's
quick.
Go.
KP says 100% John is going offense with 10 after Reese. No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm with you there, KP. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Jordan Tyson. We'll see. So here's the compensation that just took place. Kansas City is getting the 6th pick. Okay. Cleveland gets 9. So they swapped there.
Cleveland will still get a tackle there.
Look what else Cleveland picked up. 74th and 141. So that's what they're getting.
3rd, right? 71 is a 3rd. And 141. Yep. Is that a 5th?
Let
me see.
Let's see. What
do you say? You said one what?
It's happening very quickly here. 9, 74, and 141. So 141 would be in the 5th
rounder. Yep, 5th. A 3rd and a 5th by moving back 2 spots.
Here we go. Jackson says, for you, super chat.
Says, life hack, guys. To avoid spoilers, just push the live feed back about 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds like I did. LOL. Problem solved. Let's go Ravens. Venga for the win. That's great advice. Go a minute and go 90 seconds behind us.
Jackson, you're the man. Very sound advice from you. And again, Kansas City is on the clock. They have just traded with Cleveland.
I think we're going to go. The Ravens are going to pick before 10 o'clock, I feel like, because
the way we're going.
Because they switched it to, I think, 7 minutes per pick in the first round, or was it 8 minutes? But they lessened the time this year.
Let me tell you.
This is awesome, by the way. I hated waiting like a year between each pick. Give me the picks.
The way we're going, baby. Off we go. Who will the Kansas City Chiefs have in their mind that was made them willing to part ways with multiple picks and move up to the 6th, do business with Cleveland, and now select 6th overall? And here it is. Wow. This is not what I expected at all. The Chiefs are bringing in LSU cornerback Manzor Delane with the 6th overall selection. Remember who they lost.
McDuffie.
Remember, they did business with the Rams with Trent McDuffie, one of the game's top corners. What do they do instead as a result? They bring in the talented Manzor Delane from the LSU Tigers, and we have our first defensive back, Sarah, off the board. 6 picks into the night.
Delane can play.
Wow.
Delane can play. That's a nice pick for them. I didn't know that they needed to move up 2 spots to get him. So They must have thought that either the Commanders or the Saints were going to get him. But it's kind of like what Femi said, too. It's like, Sometimes people are more valuable to you than they are to somebody else. And when they traded away their Pro Bowl cornerback, who certainly hurt the Ravens in the playoffs.
Wow.
When they played in the AFC Championship game, they're like, hey, we got to reload.
Wow.
I for some reason, I thought they were going to go offense, but it obviously makes so much sense.
Wow. Wow. It does. But Sarah, I'm sitting here thinking that as well. What made them feel motivated to do so?
Well, I will say the Saints, when you just look at their needs here on this the screen share that you have up, Saints, one of their needs is a corner. So maybe they were just trying to like leapfrog the Saints, and Browns feeling real comfy because I'm sure they still feel like they can get one of their tackles.
Well, that now brings us to the Washington Commanders. And the Commanders, there's been a lot of talk about offense for them and helping Jaden Daniels and his supporting cast. Could they take the second wide receiver? Because Carnell Tate went 4 to Tennessee. He'll be working closely with Cam Ward, the former number 1 overall pick. So, Cleveland, the final trade here is that the Browns decided to move back 3 spots, and in doing so, they picked up an extra 3rd and 5th rounder that allowed Kansas City to leapfrog a couple teams to go get Manzor Delane, and that's where we sit right now as the Commanders make their way onto the clock.
You know what's funny is the chat saying like the TV's way behind. That's been my experience. You and I, like you said, have been doing this for years. Usually I set up a TV right here so I can have it. It's been useless to me for years. Useless. What are they going to do for me when I've got all the scoops online?
It's one of those funny things that they just have to kind of take on the chin, right? In a sense. Appreciate you guys for being with us tonight. A-Rod says, Bobby, the Ravens trade up to select 77. Fa la 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 la. Now, what kind of mojo is that, A-Rod? He's a New York Giant now. Chase Brown's with us.
Says, do we have a chance at Styles? He's asking.
I would suspect that he will not make it out of the top 10, Chase. But hey, stranger things have happened on draft night. Washington's on the clock. After Washington, it goes Saints, Browns, Giants, Dolphins, Cowboys, Rams. The Ravens are not far away at all from being on the clock. Notably, the Giants went with edge rusher Arvell Reese. Will they be motivated to go offense at 10? We'll see.
Well, here's what's interesting, though. Like, we're talking about if we have a chance at anybody. Reuben Bain's still there. That's one person we've always wondered, would he drop? Yeah, I agree with you. I imagine Styles and Caleb Downs will be gone eventually, which I think is good news for the Ravens. Like, there's been nothing that's like hurt the Ravens yet. But all it takes is like number 13 doing that or number 10 doing that. There's so many people still. Yeah.
No doubt. Wismo Jones 10 says the TV is way behind y'all, to Sarah's point a second ago. And Linda with a 3rd super chat this evening.
Linda, we appreciate you. She says, have any mock drafts even come close to this? Well, we've just had Daniel Jeremiah's nearby. More because he usually gets the Ravens picks, right? But let's see. He's got the first 2 right. He predicted a trade for number 3. That didn't work out. Sonny Styles he had gone. He's still there.
He's gone. Sonny's off the board. He's going to Washington.
There he is. So that answers that super chatter's question. Nope. Sonny Styles isn't going to make it. Ravens do not have a chance at him.
So Sonny Styles, the all-around, do-it-all Ohio State linebacker, just lit it up at the combine. By the way, probably going to hear his brother's name called at some point this weekend in Lorenzo Styles. So a heck of a football family. But Washington Commanders at 7 overall, while this hasn't updated yet on the site, are reportedly selecting Sonny Styles. And Sarah, we have closed in under 7 picks away from the Ravens being on the clock.
Ooh, we are cruising. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yep. Let's get an
and
update on the poll.
I also like where the board's going so far. I like
Yep.
where the board's going. No, like I don't know, like you said, like Tate was a surprise for sure. Chiefs moving up to get Delane, a surprise. You know, I don't know that many people predicted that. So, but these players, though, we all expected to be gone before the Ravens were on 14. So in that sense, there's been no surprises so far.
Let's get an update on the poll as we approach 1,000 votes. By the way, we do have over 1,000 concurrents at the moment in the YouTube space. So needless to say, thank you for showing up and showing out tonight. It's our Megacast. Sarah's going to have coverage Friday and Saturday while I'm at my college roommate's wedding. Thank you in advance, partner. We're looking forward to a wonderful weekend. If you have not yet subscribed and you find yourself watching tonight, please do so. We're coming up on that 30,000 number. We'd love to hit it. The Commanders are selecting Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles. And now the New Orleans Saints find themselves on the clock at 8. Sarah, let's get an update on the poll. We are approaching 900 votes here tonight.
Okay.
And we asked you guys earlier, who are the Ravens taking? And still comfortably, public opinion says Oli Ihenachor-Yawan at 61%. Kenyon Sadiq is 21%. Reuben Bain Jr., who's still available, is 14%. And Peter Woods would be a late round trade at 4%, which was the Daniel Jeremiah scenario that we spoke about this afternoon. It really has not changed or wavered at all, Sarah, in terms of split.
Correct. Okay, so who are we waiting on right now? It's the Saints.
It's the New Orleans Saints. You see their needs here. Wide receiver. There still has yet to be a wide receiver outside of Carnell Tate selected. And the tackle run has not yet begun.
Yeah. Again, but we always thought it was going to be the Browns that start it. They moved back 2 spots.
They'll
So it
almost
could
certainly
still-
do it at 9. They'll almost certainly
Exactly.
choose to do so at 9.
And I'm sure they knew who the Chiefs wanted, and it wasn't one of their guys. And they probably had a pretty good inkling of where the Commanders and Saints were going. And even if one of those guys took a tackle, there was still, maybe they liked both tackles that would be at the top 2 tackles. So we still might be waiting on the Browns to make that run, but I would like it to happen so the Ravens can have plenty to choose from and maybe move back themselves, only so that maybe another scenario could be that they do trade back up into the first round like Daniel Jeremiah predicted. So maybe you move back just so you can later have enough ammo to move back into the first round.
Sure. That would make sense.
Tackle run could help make that happen.
Will it happen in the coming minutes ahead here? Joe Jenkins is with us tonight. He says Vanga or Bain at 14 as Jordan Tyson becomes the second wide receiver, Sarah. The Arizona State wide receiver has been selected 8th overall by the New Orleans Saints. They were comfortable, clearly, with his medical. He tore his MCL, PCL, and ACL earlier on in his career and had separate nagging hamstring injuries his final season under Hines Ward, who was his position coach at Arizona State. So Jordan Tyson becomes the second wide receiver off the board. Does the tackle run now begin as we approach 9, with Cleveland being on the clock, having done business with the Kansas City Chiefs? Joe Jenkins says Vanga or Bain at 14. Who would you all prefer? Sarah, I know where I think you would go. I think you know where I would go. We've had this conversation a lot, actually, in the last couple of weeks. Do you feel any differently than you did?
Bobby Bain, Sarah Vanga. Okay, real quick on Jordan Tyson that just got selected. That's another good player. We talked about him, and when he's healthy, he's a baller. He's a baller. He's going to get things done. He's going to be productive. He's going to get touchdowns. He's going to do all of that. What's always been a concern is his availability. And so that would have been something I wouldn't have wanted to take a chance on given the other needs that the Ravens have. But here's the thing. He didn't even make it close to the Ravens.
Nope.
The Saints clearly not concerned, and they see a guy that can help produce and make a difference on their team. Yeah.
Sarah, you know what this also says is unless they want to go with Mekhi Lemon, Eric DeCosta's 4th first-round wide receiver, likely not happening tonight. He has selected 3 in his time. Started with Hollywood Brown. It then became Rashad Bateman and then Zay Flowers. Only one of the three, by the way, had their fifth-year options exercised. I think we can call it. Now, I'm not saying it won't be a pass catcher, but if we're strictly speaking to wide receivers, I think you can feel comfortable that it won't be a wide. I don't believe it'll be a wide receiver tonight.
No,
at 14. At 14.
Yeah. Like if they traded back and then got Denzel Boston, maybe something like that. But again, if you're going to trade back, I hope that means they would trade back into the first round with that going on. This is kind of fun. Jonas Schaefer just kind of tweeted out, just some fun history of like brand new coaches and what happens. He says of the 10 most recent defensive-minded head coaches hired by a team with a first-round pick in that year's draft. So defensive-minded head coach, when they got to have a first-round pick, only 3 addressed their defense in the first round. It was Houston Texans' Lovie Smith. He got Derek Stingley. Then D'Amico Ryans got C.J. Stroud, but also Will Anderson Jr. And then Mike McDonald got Byron Murphy. So we'll see if the Ravens try to get a little love to mentor on the defensive side. But I think the bigger needs are on offense. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. We'll also see what Todd Monken will do as his tenure in Cleveland takes place tonight. 9th overall from the 6th after doing business with Kansas City. The Browns are now on the clock. And then all of a sudden, the Giants will rejoin things at 10 overall as we close within 5 selections, Sarah, of the Ravens being on the clock. Rafike Tucker has become a channel member this evening. Rafike, thanks for being with us. You guys can follow along with us all off season long, by the way, while you're at it on social media. Sarah can be found on X or Twitter at SG Ellison. I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at Bobby Baltimore. Hit us up. Let us know where you're watching from tonight. Tag us, maybe with your split screen. Pete says he's got one on his iPhone, one on the TV in his dorm. Tag us. Let us know what your situation looks like. Show us some fireplaces, will you? You guys all cozy tonight or what? What's going on inside the living rooms on the other end? I would love to see it. Go tag us. We'd love to hear from you.
You know what's crazy is not a single offensive lineman has been taken so far. Not a single one.
Where art thou, tackle run?
Well, but it almost so far it doesn't matter either though, because everybody that we expected to be taken is taken. And so it's all the offensive linemen and Reuben Bain are still sitting there.
Yep.
So the Ravens looking like they're in a pretty decent position here. What
will Cleveland do? And what
They'll
kind
get
of
protection for Shedeur Sanders, of course, because he'll be the starter, right, Bobby?
It'll be a battle. It'll be a summer battle between Shedeur and Deshaun.
You think Deshaun's winning it?
Yeah, I think my prediction from a couple weeks ago, I still stand by that. But it should be good.
Isn't this his last year under contract finally?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Who knows?
Let me look this up on Spot Rack for us real quick.
I thought he has a lifetime. Wait, I thought he has a lifetime deal.
Oh no, this is his last year. This is his last year under contract. Holy moly. What if this man really resurrects his career again in the final year of his contract, just so that he could go get another one?
Wouldn't that be something? Not like he's been paid enough,
Oh my gosh. Worst contract and trade of all time. What is taking Todd Monken so long? Come on, Todd, give us a pick.
Sarah, this draft, it's falling nicely for the Ravens, as we've both alluded to. Through 8 picks, I don't know how you can say anything other than that. This is falling nicely for them to have options, and they are not going to be backed into a corner at 14, barring something unforeseen in the next 10 minutes or so. Hugh has become our newest channel member as we await Cleveland's pick. Hugh Janus, welcome to channel membership. And Sarah Rafike uses his 12 months to celebrate with a chat attached to it.
Says, if he's there, we should definitely choose Vinca. It's been said a lot, but the offensive line is a priority. Rafiki making his opinion known, along with many people wanting offensive line. There's going to be a meltdown. There's going to be a meltdown if the Ravens don't choose Vega.
Number 9 is in.
Okay.
And we are awaiting what Cleveland will do with their selection that they just moved back doing business with the Kansas City Chiefs. Todd Monken, of course, was hired by the Cleveland Browns.
Now,
it appears the first tackle is going off the board.
We thought so, but which one?
And that is Utah's Spencer Fano.
That's a good pickup.
So
that's a good pickup for Cleveland.
That is exactly what we thought might happen when they did business. And Sarah, they did good business, the Browns.
You know what? Usually I like to make fun of them. Not usually, all the time. I would like to make fun of them. But we can't in this scenario because you're right. This is good business. Really good business. They moved back 2 spots and still got the guy they wanted. We all knew they wanted a tackle. We said it was going to happen. We said the tackle run, if it's going to begin, it's going to begin with the Browns. They traded back 2 spots, didn't put themselves in a bad position because none of the 3 teams that selected since they made a trade picked a tackle. They got Spencer Fano. He is versatile. He can play at any position on the offensive line, center, guard, tackle, whatever you want. So Todd Monken's going to have himself a mauler in the offensive line for Shedeur Sanders.
Maybe. And now you're looking at a scenario. I caught that. What you're looking at now is a situation where the Ravens find themselves 4 away from being on the clock. Francis Mauigoa is available. Reuben Bain Jr. is available. Kenyon Sadiq is available. And of course, Oli Ihenachor-Yawan is available as well, as the Giants work their way back to being on the clock at 10 overall. They went with Arvell Reese at 5. Will they go offense this time around? Here come the New York Giants. They're second
again
in 10 picks.
Okay, what's John going to do here? What's John going to do here? Again, let's just see what Daniel Jeremiah had here. Hey, yeah, he's got, even though he's gotten a lot wrong so far, although he did have Fano for the Browns just at number 6. Was it the Commanders that took Jordan Tyson, or was it the Saints? You remember?
That was New Orleans.
Okay. He did have the Chiefs taking Delane, but at number 9. Oh, he would have given the Giants Carnell Tate, but he gone.
Yeah, he's gone. That was the first shakeup of the night, and then came the trade.
What if he goes after Bain right here?
Wow. I mean, back to back. I think he goes offense. I think they're going offense.
Yeah. I mean, him and Reese would be nuts.
Yeah, I think they're going offense here. So we await what the Giants do. Dinero Tranquilo is here with a super chat for us. He says, on my off day, sipping Jack and just got the kangaroo fresh off the grill. Shout out to you both. Go Ravens. What a vibe Dinero is here tonight, celebrating opening night of the draft. Dinero, appreciate you, DT. Thanks for the support. Hope you're enjoying. You're clearly enjoying yourself. I was going to say, hope you're enjoying yourself. You're clearly enjoying yourself.
The NFL.com, the needs for Giants. They've got defensive line, which they just got Avril. Is it Avril or Avril? Arvell Reese. So they have needs of offensive line, cornerback, linebacker, and wide receiver. So maybe Mekhi Lemon in there if they want to go wide receiver. But offensive line. Don't do it, John.
What will John Harbaugh do with his second and final first-round selection of the evening, unless they're going to be busy the second half of the show? We await that right now. As things have shaken out, if you're just tuning in, Fernando Mendoza, chalk, number 1. to the Vegas Raiders. David Bailey, edge rusher out of Texas Tech, went 2 to the Jets. The Cardinals took Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame do-it-all running back. Carnell Tate, Ohio State wide receiver, went to Tennessee. Arvell Reese, like we just mentioned.
Oh, I got the Giants pick. You ready for it?
Pick is in. Sarah, go ahead.
They are picking Miami offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa.
Here we go.
There goes the tackles. Here we go.
Heck of a start for Harbaugh in New York, that's for sure.
He's got trenches going over there. It would have been nice if he did that here. 3-year starter at right tackle. Mauigoa played every game and allowed the lowest pressure rate among all FBS tackles in 2025. He is likely going to be a right guard for the Giants.
Sarah, the tackle run's begun.
It's begun. Back to back.
The tackle run is here. Francis Mauigoa is off the board. Spencer Fano is off the board. And now the Ravens find themselves 3 picks away from being on the clock. Law So Serious is celebrating 11 months of channel membership with us and writes that Ari Mirov has Kayvon Thibodeau as a top trade candidate now, something to keep an eye on. There's been a lot of smoke around his name dating back to the deadline in November, Sarah. He's a member of the New York Giants, and that'll be something to watch as things continue to unfold throughout draft weekend.
Well, I mean, Thibodeau, but Bain is still there. So
Ruben Bain is still available.
He's still there. The Ravens have Ruben Bain, Mekhi Lemon, Vanga, and Kenyon Sadiq all there, and we're just 4 picks away.
Yep. This is not inching closer. It is moving here tonight. It is 9:01 Eastern Standard Time. And now the Miami Dolphins are on the clock at 11. The Cowboys, who have decided for the moment to stick and pick, I mean, unless they're trading with Miami to go up 1 spot, which I can't imagine they're going to do that. They're sitting at 12. The Rams are at 13. We thought we were going to be watching those 2 teams to see if they'd get active. And the Ravens sit at 14 with, again, Ruben Bain Jr., Oli Ihenachor-Yawan, and Kenyon Sadiq all still available and out there for the taking.
So Dolphins are up. The Dolphins needs are wide receiver, corner, edge, offensive lineman, and safety. So like everywhere.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys edge, linebacker, cornerback, defensive line, and offensive line. So again, sometimes that's not super helpful. So they got Malik Willis this offseason, moved on from Tua Vailoa. No, I just said that wrong.
Whoa.
No, I just said that real wrong. Tua Tunga Vailoa. Am I combining him with my guy Venga? I don't think so.
I'm just buckling up and bracing myself over here.
Anyway, but they got their new quarterback. So
he needs weapons. They're losing Tyreek Hill. They need a wide receiver. They need to take Mekhi Lemon.
They need a wide receiver. Now. You think they're going to go Mekhi?
Yeah, they need to right now.
Remember, because Jalen Waddle was also traded to the Broncos.
Yeah, they lost Hill and Waddle, and Malik.
Oh, they got to go wide receiver.
Yeah, they got to go Mekhi. He'd be perfect for Miami.
They also need help on offensive line, but I mean, they really don't have. I mean, those were some top name wide receivers there.
Big personality. They got to go with him. Rafike says, genuinely wondering where was this ambition and boldness from John Harbaugh? Why wasn't he making these moves with us? Well, he's never had 2 top 10 picks. I know that. He's had 1 in his entire career, right? And they went and got Ronnie Stanley. So it's mostly just a draft capital conversation. That's really hard to compare, Rafike. Really hard to compare.
Well, the offensive line's been bad. This is where all this is coming from, obviously.
The Dolphins are on the clock, as we've mentioned, and we're waiting to see what they do as the Ravens inch closer to having their selection tonight. Will it be their lone selection of the night, and will they pick at 14?
Do you think that Dallas, since we just talked about how we feel like the Dolphins really need a wide receiver, and so we're feeling pretty good about the potential of Mekhi Lemon. Dallas, Like, will they be the ones to take Ruben Bain?
Possibly, but they may need Caleb Downs. He's available. He's dropping. He and Ruben Bain are falling right now. That's what's happening. So crazy enough, just as it did four years ago, you have a really talented safety that's dropping. I'm not saying the Ravens are going to do that at 14, but they did with Kyle Hamilton 4 years ago. And who's going to do it this year with Caleb Downs? Because he's falling right now.
It really is crazy how much the league puts into some of those like combine-like numbers. So with Bain, it's the shorter arms, but he did nothing but dominate for Miami. And so or like the 40 time messed up Terrell Suggs and even Kyle Hamilton. Yeah. And so it's crazy. And that's how people fall to the Ravens. It's for stuff like that.
This is what's happened here tonight so far as you scroll through activity. Giants still need to be updated. But we know what John Harbaugh's done here. Dinero Tranquilo says, are you guys going to Brazil? I certainly want to make that happen. They're expected to play there, according to the banner, in week 3 against the Dallas Cowboys. It would be a road game for the Ravens. I would love to go. Sarah has a lot more to figure out logistically. We'll revisit that when the schedule release comes out next month.
Right.
But DT, expect to see me there for sure. And Sarah, look who's back. Linda E. with a 4th super chat tonight, all of which have been 20 or more.
She's being generous tonight on the first night of the draft. She says, you guys are killing me. I usually go to bed at 8:30. Do you really feel like the Ravens will trade back into the first? Like, will they come back in? It's possible. But Linda, you might want to stick around anyway.
Here we go. Dallas is not sticking and picking. They got to go and get a player, and they're doing so and moving up literally one spot. They've traded up to pick 11 with the Dolphins. So here we go. This is what the expectation was. We thought it might be a bigger jump, but they're picking literally, or were scheduled to pick at 12. Well, guess what? They're picking at 11 now, and they just leapfrogged Miami one slot and did business with them.
Just one slot here.
Who do they have on their mind?
So what did they do? So I'm confused. So Cowboys are literally moving up with the Dolphins. So are the Dolphins saying, okay, we were going to get the guy that you want, but since you give us an extra pick, we'll take somebody else?
Hey, because you're about to give us like multiple day 3 selections.
Yeah. What is this going to be for?
I got it right here.
Okay.
Here we go. They get 177 and 180. That's 2 day 3 picks right there.
Wow.
177 and 180 for one slot.
So they would have called up and said, hey, we want this guy. They're like, nah, we're going to take him. Well, for 2 third-round picks, will you pick your next guy on the board? And they're like, sure.
Unreal.
Like the Cowboys literally didn't leapfrog anybody. They just talked the Dolphins out of their spot.
And here's why. And this makes sense. Caleb Downs, the talented safety.
There it is.
From Ohio State, is going 11th overall to the Dallas Cowboys, who just went up to ensure that Miami didn't take him. That's the only way you can read it.
That's the only way, is that Miami says to Dallas, hey, we're taking your guy, Caleb Downs, unless you give us 2 third-round picks. And Cowboys are like, done. That's how much they love him. Don't talk to me about value of positions, because the Ravens took a safety and everybody's like, oh, a safety that early? These guys took a safety even earlier and gave up 2 third-round picks to get him.
They pick him at 11. The Ravens were at 14 with Kyle Hamilton, significantly early for both players. Todd Monken says that Spencer Fano is going to play left tackle for the Cleveland Browns right out of the gate.
Wow. There you go, Todd.
So there you have it. He's currently speaking with the media, leading you to believe that Cleveland's doing its business early tonight. Wildlife Wale says someone else wanted the pick. Yeah, you want to know who that was? It was Jerry Jones. They wanted Caleb Downs, and they went and got him, literally moving up one slot with Miami, giving the Dolphins more ammo.
Maybe the Dolphins never wanted him, but another team was about to leapfrog the Cowboys.
Could be.
Get him.
That's the second option.
Maybe Dolphins were going to go back even further, and Cowboys are like, "Well, I'll match you. Just let me go up."
Sure.
And you only have to drop by one spot.
Daniel Jeremiah had Dallas taking Reuben Bain. Excuse me. He had them taking Caleb Downs, just not with the trade.
Right. So he's got, the Dolphins taking Bain then. So maybe they flip spots and Dolphins go ahead and take Bain. But we were predicting Mekhi Lemon.
Oh, yeah.
But if not them, then Daniel Jeremiah has Mekhi Lemon going to the LA Rams. Yep. Either way, is Mekhi Lemon going to the next 2 picks?
Yes. Yes, I think he goes before the Ravens. And now the scenario of Reuben Bain falling is very much alive.
Very alive.
It is alive and well. Venga Ioane is still there. The chalk option is still there. Kenyon Sadiq still there. Francis Mauigoa, Sarah, one of his first sentiments shared as a New York Giant. I'll die about this S, man. I'm ready to die for you.
Who is this again?
Francis Mauigoa. I'm ready to die for you, man. His first message to Jackson Dart.
I was going to say, I bet Dart is loving that.
That's his first message to the New York Giants. White Broccoli 23 says, I'm ready to see who we get. Well, you better be ready because it's very early, a lot earlier than the projected time, Sarah, of 10 o'clock.
That's because they shaved off time. It's 8 minutes for every pick. Let's keep moving.
It's a phenomenal decision.
And
much
we're
like
far
Major League
ahead,
Baseball.
though. Far ahead from TV. It's so funny when like the NFL Twitter account starts announcing picks. Like, and we talked about it like 10 minutes ago, you know?
Sarah, Monroe Freeling is still there as well. He's been mocked to Baltimore, the Georgia offensive tackle. Edge rusher Reuben Bain, of course, as we just discussed. Mekhi Lemon, could he go over the next 2 picks? We know that Miami is on the clock right now at 12. The Rams are on deck. The Ravens are in the hole, if you will. And we're waiting on what Miami will do after doing business with the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what that full trade looks like, by the way. Miami received the 12th pick, obviously, and 2 5th-rounders, 177 and 180. Dallas went and got Caleb Downs with the 11th overall pick as a result. Sarah Steph is with us today, still.
She says, if Bain is there, do Ravens take it or stick with Vega? What's funny is like we're all assuming that that's what they're going to pick no matter what. Like it's like Vega's been the default for all of us. So we'll see, Stephanie. We're about to find out.
Yeah, Steph.
Unless Bain is about to go.
Yeah, if Reuben Bain is there, then I think your scenario is a moot point, in my opinion. Tyler Downing says, I think Bain is gone with Miami. Yeah. Hopefully no one takes the Rams spot to get Vanga, or I will be a sad man. That from Tyler Downing. Tyler, thank you. Very real scenario, Sarah, for Reuben to hear his name called in a matter of seconds here. Alex Panduro is here with a super chat. Alex, thanks for your support tonight. Glad you're with us on this opening night of the draft as we await what Miami does at 12 overall. Over 3,000 concurrents and counting tonight, Sarah, as that number continues to grow as we get closer and closer. This draft is humming. We want to say thanks to Mantis Sleep for the continued support. You can use discount code VAULT10. That is discount code VAULT10 at mantisleep.com for 10% off your next sleep mask purchase.
Hey, can we bring up sorry, are you in the middle of an ad read or are you just giving him a shout out? Okay. Can we bring up our guy Jason Smith's big board real quick? I want to see who he's got right now.
We can
on his big board.
We certainly can do that.
I'll keep an eye on Twitter.
Yep, please do.
Although I don't know who exactly you're following to get it earlier.
Please do. I just did the wrong It's a multitask effort here. Let's get our Raven-centric big board that's been compiled by our pal Jason Smith as we await the Miami Dolphins at 12 overall.
So Bane, he has Bane 2 overall. Ooh,
oh boy! And remember,
he would be with you then to go with Bane if he makes it to 14.
Yes, he would. And hey, remember, Jermod McCoy, as Samuel Njoku just reminded his Twitter audience, is also still available as a sleeper cornerback pick. What will the Dolphins do? They are awaiting turning their card in. And Jason Smith.
The Rams. How do we have the Rams already? But Ari Mirov's saying the Rams will select Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson.
Oh, my goodness. That was a scenario that Daniel Jeremiah floated out months ago. And I thought, Sarah, and floated this scenario helping the Ravens if somebody were to get desperate on opening night. And if that comes to be, that will help the Ravens.
Yes, because I remember that because I was telling you that I didn't think it was going to happen.
That was a thought that we had over a month ago now. I thought that Ty maybe, just maybe, would be the second quarterback taken in the opening round. I wasn't sure if it would happen prior to the Ravens being on the clock. And here it is from Jay Glazer as well. Even though Miami hasn't this is
even selected yet, because Miami's not going quarterback.
Here we go. And the Matthew Stafford era isn't ending. He's coming back to defend his MVP title. But the fact that Ty Simpson will learn behind Matthew Stafford means great things for his development, for sure. But it means even better things for the Ravens, who now will have a chance to draft Ruben Bain if they want to. 2 picks from right now.
Oh my gosh. If Miami,
the Dolphins don't take him.
That's what we need to know. Is Miami going to go with Bain or are they going to go Mekhi Lemon? I think it's the choice between those two for them. They desperately need more wide receivers, but Bain is Bain, and he's falling.
Here we go. This is massive opening night news. It's quarterback news. All we heard all offseason, Sarah, was that it was a watered down, dull quarterback class. And that might still be true.
That is still true because usually, think about Lamar Jackson's year where he was the 5th one by pick number 32. I mean, they were going fast.
It might still be true, but the fact that scenario has believed to have just been written in ink is significant for the Ravens. And it's very, very significant for what Miami's about to do right now. Who will they take? Aaron Wilson might be first up on this. And if this is the case, Sarah, Ruben Bain will be there for the Ravens if they want him. Aaron Wilson says the Dolphins are going with another tackle as the run continues.
Woo!
And it's Caden Proctor, 12th overall out of Alabama. Will that come to be? We'll wait and see, but that's the first that I've seen, which would have the Ravens choosing between Ruben Bain, Oli Ihenachor-Yawan, and Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, he's not the only one. Aaron's not the only one who's saying that it's going to be Proctor.
Here
there's
go.
A local guy saying the same thing. So, wow. Bain will be there.
Wow.
We're going to have the Ravens could very well. No, they're going to take Bain, aren't they? Okay, so we're going to have Proctor right now to the Dolphins. Then we're going to have Simpson, quarterback, to the Rams, leaving Bain, Yawane, Kenyon Sadiq, all there. Mekhi Lemon, all sitting there. And now we very well may get an answer to the question that we've been posed so many times tonight and before. If Bain falls, do you then go ahead and go for him over Venga?
Yes. Get back to your defense.
I really didn't think he was going to fall. I really didn't think he was going to make it to 14.
Caden Proctor is officially off the board at 12 to the Dolphins. Alabama offensive tackle Caden Proctor goes 12 to the Dolphins. Well out in front of everyone were multiple insiders noting that Ty Simpson will be selected right now by the Rams to be Matthew Stafford's, on paper, future successor whenever he wants. This could be a Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers situation because Stafford's coming off an MVP year, and they were not far away at all from playing for a Super Bowl, and they were one of the best, if not the most talented team in all of football. Who will the Ravens select? They have their choice of a trio that we've just discussed. Live chat, weigh in. We are here awaiting what the Ravens will do. Sarah, they have decided to stick and pick at the moment. Will they trade back? Or will they stay put and select one of the three players that we've been noting right now? Alex Panduro says it's not that they are behind. The website is faster than live television. A-Rod says if Ruben and Vanga are gone, the Ravens take Lemon. Well, guess what? Both are available right now, as is Mekhi Lemon. And Tomato says Ty Simpson to the Rams. What?
I know.
What a wrench this is thrown into. And it's a good wrench. Let's be very clear.
It's a great wrench.
As the Ravens have their choice, Sarah, and are sitting pretty as we get ready for them to be on the clock.
Should we? I wonder if we should. It's too late. It's not going to give us enough time. I wanted to update the poll. You don't have Bain in there, do you?
Ruben is in the poll, and he is not in the lead at all.
Not even close.
He's third behind Sadiq and Ioane.
Third.
Now we await.
Okay.
Sarah, we await the first pick of the Jesse Minter era in Baltimore. Eric DaCosta took over for Ozzie Newsome in 2019 as the team's general manager. Ozzie is still very much involved behind the scenes.
Very much.
And the new era of Ravens football begins momentarily with the 14th overall selection. Should they stay put, stick, and pick? Is Eric's phone ringing right now?
Probably. First of all, I can hear my voice in your background, I think. I wonder if everybody else can hear it or if it's just me. Second of all, there's a part of me that wants to go ahead and trade back and still maybe get Vega. And then you'd have even more ammunition to come back up in the first. But how like listen, okay, so we already know if it's Vega, Bain, you're taking Bain. But what about a trade back and still get Vega?
It's an
Would
option.
you do that?
It's an
Would you do
option.
it is what I'm asking, or would you just say no, Bain,
Well,
do it?
you're gambling.
Yeah,
You're gambling.
you're definitely gambling.
So we are awaiting the 14th overall selection. And as things stand at the moment, it sure seems like the Ravens will stick and pick to begin Jesse Minter's era in Baltimore. Let us know how you guys are feeling in the live chat. Shimmy Boy says either the short arms or off the field issues for drop. It could be related to arm length. Could be related to off-field stuff. He has not been charged for those citations for reckless driving. The charges
were dropped.
The citations were dismissed.
And
there were never charges.
And the family, the family didn't accuse him of any fault and wished him best in his NFL career. So I kind of take their lead on that.
Does his NFL career begin right now?
That is the question, because the Ravens are on the clock.
The Ravens are taking their time, as you would expect. Fernando Mendoza has updated his LinkedIn profile, which is hysterical. And now we await White Broccoli in his super chat. He says those trenches have to get built. He is calling for the trenches. White Broccoli, thanks for being with us tonight, as is Dre Dog, Sarah.
Says this draft is going faster, making me drink faster. I'm feeling my liquor. If they trade back 2 spots, they can still get one of the big 3. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it tonight happen already twice, Sarah. Kansas City and Miami have accumulated draft capital in the form of mostly day 3 picks by being willing to move. Would the Ravens be willing to move? And is Eric DaCosta negotiating as we speak with a team that might be interested in moving to 14 where they currently sit? That remains to be seen.
I can't believe these 3 are still sitting here all together. Bain, Vega, Sadiq.
It's a heck of a place to be sitting. And I'd have to think it's a pretty seat and view for the Ravens brass right now, while I'm sure intense and stressful all at once.
We're about to find out who's their BPA right now.
Yes, we will.
I keep watching Twitter because I'm like, oh, is that it? Oh, is that it?
No doubt.
Because we're for
Joshua
sure
Brown says, didn't think it was possible, but Bain or Vanga, please. Yes, all these scenarios that we've been running, Sarah, for weeks is now a thing. It has come to fruition. What will the Ravens do, and what will we learn about their board right now?
Okay, Bobby, if they take Bain, what I'm going to need you to do expeditiously is start talking about the next guards available in the 2nd round.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Hey, I got you covered for that.
Because there could be a massive meltdown on the way if Bain is the guy.
Sarah, there's going to be somebody there for them at 45 if they want it. Believe me. Believe me. Dinero Tranquillo says, as we say in medicine, and there it is, Sarah, it's a chalk. It's a chalk selection for your Ravens, and the hometown favorite, the fan favorite, has just become a thing. With the 14th overall selection in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Ravens have chosen to address the trenches and the opposite side of the ball in which Jesse Minter will be calling in year 1 with the Ravens. A guy that has not recorded a sack, meaning not allowed a sack in 2 years' time for the Penn State Nittany Lions, is joining the Ravens organization, and he goes by the name of Oli Ihenachor-Yawan. Get to know the pronunciation. Get to know the man. He's coming to Baltimore as the 14th overall pick.
Woo! I cannot remember the last time I have fallen in love with a player months before the draft, and the Ravens actually select him. The answer to our question of who was going to be best player available on their board, maybe they were close, and so maybe they were so close they still went with their bigger need because they just got Trey Hendrickson. They, hallelujah, prioritized Lamar Jackson and his protection. They prioritized a guy that can open up gaps and holes for Derrick Henry. What a massive upgrade in 1 year. We are going to go from Daniel Fa'alele, who weekly somehow fell on the ground or was turned around in blenders. And now we go from that to Vavenga Yawane, the guy that Ravens flock wanted, the guy that I wanted, the guy I was scared the Ravens would leave in pursuit of Bain. But alas, we got our guy, and we can all celebrate, and Lamar Jackson can celebrate.
You know what, Sarah? I think they could have addressed this on day 2, but honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter. They just went and got a sure thing. They just went and got the highest ceiling pass protector, run game player, and somebody that will help build a wall around Lamar Jackson. Something that we both know has been an inferior unit to the competition in recent seasons. This will help their rookie center if indeed they do go the rookie route at starter. This will help the run game. This will help Lamar Jackson stay upright. And most importantly, this will help the overall unit do what it's supposed to do under their new offensive line coach, Dwayne Ledford. So if you're just tuning in,
Yes.
as Tank and Sea King says, I'm drunk, almost pick 14. Hell yeah, brother. Enjoy the drunkenness, Sea King, because your guy is a Raven. Wildlife Wale is fired up. He's rejoicing. He says, let's go. My Timber Shivered says, wow, we didn't get cute. Who would have thunk it? Profit Q for you, Sarah, with a super chat has come in.
Sarah about to pour the grape juice. Let's go. Well, I do have my water here, but if I were getting crazy, I'd either go with a Sprite or an Izzy. Blackberry flavored.
There you go. Dre Dog says in 4 years, we'll be talking about his crazy fifth-year option, but F it. Protection, protection, protection. Dre Dog looking into the future about this first-round pick who now has potentially 5 years of team control if indeed they do pick up the fifth-year option in the next 4 years. Oli Ihenachor-Yawan has just become your newest Baltimore Raven in news that just dropped with the 14th overall selection in the 2026 NFL draft, Sarah. He is someone that was utterly consistent, dominant, and a mauler in the trenches for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Loss So Serious is here for you.
Now, how long, he asked, does Bain have to sit before we talk about trading back in for him? This is crazy. How far he's dropping.
Tyler Burnside says, how can you watch Bain and not take him? So not everyone is all in on the chalk outcome here. Tyler,
I
thanks
guarantee
for the super chat.
he's going to be asked about that.
He will be.
I don't know if he's going to give a straightforward answer, but he will be asked.
PFF grades, Tyler, might make you feel better about this selection. 311 pass blocking snaps were recorded by Venga. 0 sacks were allowed, 0 hits were allowed, and just 4 hurries were allowed. Along the way, a lot of toughness, fierceness, and strength. Dream, Sarah, has been on it from the jump for you.
He says since October, and he has not faltered. That is for sure. He says since October, I've said his name, Oli Ihenachor-Yawan, and he is here for you, Dreams. You dreamt it, and you brought it into reality for all of Baltimore.
Sarah,
it was Dreams who did it.
Just a couple weeks ago, Eric DaCosta spoke about Spencer Fano, and now, which means a lot more, Venga Yawane.
So I think Fano could play really wherever you want him to play, right? I mean, he could play tackle, could play guard. He's a good athlete. He's tough. He's a good player. I mean, I think Vega, obviously seen him play a bunch. Physical, tough. Probably a guard is what he probably is. But sort of prototypes straight from central casting of what you want your guards to look like. So I think they're both excellent prospects. I think both guys are first-round talents. Both guys probably come in right away and help your team quite a bit.
Straight from central casting is how he referred to Venga Yawane, Sarah, who he decided that he would go ahead and use just a couple weeks later, the 14th overall selection. And here is the graphic officially from the NFL, your newest Baltimore Raven and a first-round talent coming to Baltimore.
Let's get him in that purple. Let's get him in that purple. Bobby, this is gonna do just fine. He had in 2025 310 pass block snaps. How many sacks do you allow? 0. 0 sacks in 310 pass block snaps. Only 4 pressures allowed. Pass block grade of 87.3. We were living in the slums with our pass guard play. 50s, 60s, 310. And we talk about Dwayne Ledford and what a good offensive line coach he is. And I agree with that, but I've also said you got to give him some players to work with. I feel extremely confident sitting here on April 23rd, Thursday night at 9:33, that the combination of Yawane and Ledford is going to be fantastic. Is he going to have some of his rookie moments too? Sure, obviously. But this is a guy that people have been, draft analysts and draft nicks have been saying, yeah, like future Hall of Famer type guy, double-digit Pro Bowls, like the most sure thing. Just such a safe pick. And as I'm listening to Eric DaCosta answering that question, I wonder if he's just like, okay, keep it cool. Keep it cool. They just asked me about the guy that I want. and Fano does this well. I'm going to say this very monotone. He's straight out of casting for a guard, all while being like, please don't give anything away. Although everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. There were so many people. Now, whether Daniel Jeremiah or some other guys made that prediction today, no, but they've done it in the past, and they all knew it was a possibility. Almost everybody was picking this one. And it's kind of like Malachi Starks, kind of that situation where it's like everybody was predicting it and it happened. And that's kind of what it's been like this year with Yawane.
Well said. Steph welcomes them to Baltimore. Very excited for this pick, she says. Sawyer squad, Bain and then Emmanuel Pregnon in the second. It's just, you got to move into the first to go get Ruben in all likelihood, Sawyer. Appreciate the super chat. My Timber Shivered is back for more, Sarah.
Says that's an easy one to answer. I think he meant Bain wasn't the best pass rusher in this draft. Vega was easily the best offensive lineman, not hard calculus.
JL Green says, I told you we are the Avengers. Avengers assemble. Everybody rejoicing in how the Ravens have chosen to handle opening night thus far. Sarah, are they done? That remains to be seen as the night continues on. A-Rod 3781's with us.
Lamar's health was the number one issue in running lanes for Henry. Let's go Venga.
A-Rod, appreciate the super chat. A lot of commentary just firing in right now as everyone reacts with us in real time. Oofgeg says, happy draft night to my sister watching along. Happy draft night to both of you.
Yeah.
Tyler Burnside says, hopefully EDC finally hit on a Penn State player. Adisa Isaac has struggled. Adafe Owe. There goes Kenyon Sadiq, 16th overall to the Jets. So the Jets night began at 2 with David Bailey, and their second first-round selection is Kenyon Sadiq, who goes 2 picks after the Ravens. Who did the Buccaneers select? I must have missed that.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Ravens pick here, so, and it's not updated yet on the NFL website.
Yeah, I must have missed it. Tyler, thank you for the super chat.
Poor Sadiq has to go to the Jets.
Kenyon
I bet he was so wishing that the Ravens selected him.
He'll have a new head coach in a couple of years. Wildlife Wale for you.
He sure will. Bain versus Vega for 60 minutes. I'm taking Venga. That's how that pick is made.
Everybody touting Eric DaCosta's decision. Alex Panduro writes that Matabike is playing week 1. Pick number 14 said so. So Alex reading into this pick tonight, Sarah, as it relates to Nnamdi Matabike's recovery timetable. Mr. Robinson, that's a little rich for me, by the way, Alex. Week 1 is rich. Mr. Robinson for you.
Says, thank goodness. No more offensive linemen from the bargain bin. Let's get some quality. They can't be done yet. They need to get themselves a center. They don't need to do it in the second round. We can wait till the third, but they cannot be done with this offensive line yet.
Okay. Ruben Bain is going to Tampa Bay, 15th overall.
All right.
Ruben, I'll have a chance to watch Ruben maybe once or twice this fall in this area. He's coming to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mr. Robinson said, you just read this, I think, right? Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks to all of you for being here with us tonight. If you're just tuning in, by the way, and we have over 4,000 concurrents, so needless to say, thank you for showing up and showing out. With the 14th overall selection, the Ravens are bringing in Oli Ihenachor-Yawan. He's a Penn State guard, 6'4" and a quarter inch, 320 pounds. You see the arm and hand size. He's very athletic, can jump through the roof. He's a Cooper Beebe player comp, according to Lance Zierlein. He has not allowed a sack in 2 seasons. He was a first-team All Big Ten player in 2025. He started 11 games at left guard. And Sarah, we have a new favorite for the starting right guard, as we've referenced a couple times here, to start opposite John Simpson. And now the spotlight is on Emory Jones. Where will Emory Jones fit into the puzzle in 2026?
I will tell you.
It's a great answer. It's a great problem to have.
He will be a swing tackle.
Perhaps.
It's going to be, he's not going to beat out Yawane. Can he beat out John Simpson on the other side?
Maybe.
But my obviously right now, the way you pencil in the starters, Ronnie Stanley, Simpson, who you just paid, still an opening spot at center, Yawane, Roger Rosengarten. That's it. I just can't imagine Emory Jones is going to beat out John Simpson after you just paid him.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, certainly paid in a sense that doesn't hamper you in the coming years, but paid like a guy that you would want to start, at least initially, you would think.
Yeah.
Wes Hall says this draft is drunk, he says. Ty was a stretch. Ty Simpson was a stretch. Wes is a major Alabama fan. Sarah, how we got here in part is due to Ty Simpson being selected 13th overall. The Rams went and got potentially Matthew Stafford's future replacement. Now, this could be 2, 3, 4 years' time for all we know. He's coming off an MVP season. But Wes makes a good point. The draft fell to the Ravens, just as it did 4 years ago. And they found themselves with a player that was chalk all along. Wildlife is here for you.
I got some highlights on him right after this. He says our big 3 went back to back to back. Because Bain and Sadiq were right afterwards. Here's some highlights. It's gonna come up with music. I'll pause it as soon as, or I'll mute it as soon as I can. There we go. Oh my! Can we just watch that again? Watch him take out that dude as a pulling guard. Oh my gosh! He put him on his back, and then as he tried to get up, he put him back on his back. You think you're getting up, son? Sit down. And that's the nastiness. That's the nastiness we never saw out of Fa'alele. With all that size and with all that physicality, we never saw it. We never saw it. And I sometimes wonder, remember when Steve Bisciotti, after he had let go of John Harbaugh, and then somebody in the media asked him, like, how are you feeling about Eric DaCosta? And he's like, I feel like Eric's going to be fine for a while. But he slipped in a sentence that was like, he knows his part and what contributed to his friend being let go. And I wonder if part of that was the offensive line. Because as stubborn as John Harbaugh was, EDC, to me, the biggest mistake he's made as a GM since he's been here, well, he's made a few, but one of them is just that he had no real plan at guard. Like he went in with Fa'alele and Voorhees, and then he brought back in Cleveland, who John Harbaugh clearly never considered as a real competitor, never considered him ever. And so there were no real options. I don't know what EDC was doing, and I wonder if he's trying to rectify that to a certain degree. I wonder how close Yawane and Bain were there. And he's like, I got to fix my mistake. I got Ledford here. I don't have Linderbaum. I got to put in a big move on the offensive line.
Look at the order in recent picks. The Detroit Lions now are on the clock at 17. And, the question does sort of start to shift in the direction of, are the Ravens done tonight? Because we spent all afternoon talking about the Daniel Jeremiah scenario of trading back into the first. And there's a chance that could happen. You never know. Kenyon Sadiq has just been updated to the Jets, as we just discussed. here are the teams that are upcoming. Another super chat's come in here from Tomato, who says that Steelers fans online are pissed that we got Vanga.
Good.
Pittsburgh is on the clock, Sarah, at 21. So several picks from now. The Steelers and Mike McCarthy and his tenure as a hometown Pittsburgh native begins.
Bobby, I'm looking at a pronunciation guide for Yawane because our chat seems to be in denial, or some people in our chat seems to be in denial. We've brought in Yawane himself pronouncing it, and there for sure was an N in there. Here's the pronunciation guide. It clearly says, per Penn State, the Penn State's pronunciation guide has Venga with the N. Venga Yawane. Okay? We've heard him say it. It's in the Penn State pronunciation guide. It's Venga, pronounced with an N, even though it's not spelled that way.
Okay.
Just want to put that out there.
Thank you. And we will do our best here as Vanga meets with the media to pull up the audio into our microphone. I'll try to do that over here. If the Ravens app launches this as expected to. In the meantime, Clinton Ganaway, Sarah, has left a 50 spot for you.
Ooh, thank you, Clinton. He says, happy draft night. Protect Lamar. Trenches, trenches, trenches. Y'all the best. Thank you, Clinton. We appreciate you. Hope you're having a great night.
Clinton, you're the man. Mr. Oklahoma. Appreciate the 50 spot. Appreciate everybody for being here. I mean, we have well over 4,000 concurrents at the moment. It goes without saying, your support means a lot. We are coming up on 30,000 subscriptions. If you find yourself as one of the 1,600 plus concurrents watching right now in real time and you're not subscribed, we would love for you to change that and help us reach that milestone. 30,000 subscriptions is within sight. And are the Ravens in sight of potentially being involved again tonight? Let me get a Mantis sleep read in here. But is that that's the question.
They don't have a press conference yet. All they have so far is a Zoom with Yawane. When I worked there, after the first round pick, usually it's like they're down in the auditorium right away. They even did it the night that they traded back in for Lamar Jackson, and that's why everybody was so surprised, was because they already did the Hayden Hurst press conference.
Yep.
So, but then as the story goes, it's like they went back up there, and Ozzie and Eric were looking at each other and like, hey, are we going to keep going? And so, but right now the draft is moving so quickly. I don't know that the Ravens can fit in a press conference before, if they want to move back in. So yeah, they're going to have a Zoom with Yawane, but I'm telling you, when I worked there, it was like the press conferences were almost immediately after the first pick.
Yeah, it's moving right along, to your point. Mantis Sleep and our next partnership is moving right along. And right now, if you use the discount code VAULT10, that's VAULT10, you'll get 10% off your next purchase. All of these sleep masks guarantee you 100% blackout for a deeper sleep. You have C-shaped eye cups for unbeatable side sleep comfort. Zero pressures applied to your eyelids or lashes.
Oh, here's
advanced
Yawane.
materials and ventilation for unmatched breathability. As Vanga Yawane meets with reporters.
What do you want me to do? You want me to pause it?
Yeah.
Or you want me to go?
Throw it up there. Yeah.
All right, let's get this going. Let me get the volume up for us.
You guys know the drill. Go check out the site. There's a lot of great stuff here at Manta. They've been one of our longest standing sponsors. It's far from just sleep masks that they have. And as we always say, when you support our brand sponsors, you're directly supporting the show. So thanks to them. Thanks to all of you for being with us. And you're about to hear Vanga Yawane's first media press conference as a member of the Baltimore Ravens.
Well,
I got him right here.
It. All right.
Use the raise hand function, and we will call on you accordingly. So to kick things off here, we'll begin with Jamison Hensley, please.
Patrick Gleason, member of PR team, your former colleague in Baltimore. Jamison Hensley gets the first question as the longest tenured media member.
Congratulations. It seemed like everybody had you coming to the Ravens in the mock draft. Did you have that feeling?
Oh, for me, it was more of a, that type of thing didn't really matter to me.
It was all hopes of, this and that, but, never know how the draft works, but I'm happy that's how it went. We'll go to Gianna Hahn.
Short and simple from Venga.
Hi, congratulations and welcome to Baltimore. I know at the combine you were talking about how you had to sneak out to play football. Your parents didn't really want you playing. But looking back at that, what is it like today with them, the emotions of getting picked?
It's definitely a real good feeling, everything coming around full circle. God has a plan for everything, and that's how my story went. That's how it began, and this is where it's at now for sure. Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad that's how it went for sure. Ryan Mink from BaltimoreRavens.com.
Congrats, Venga. Curious, what was the pre-draft process and your interactions with the Ravens like? Did you have a good feeling that they were very interested in you?
Yeah, I had a good feeling. Went out there for a 30 visit about 2 weeks ago before I came home. A lot of good people, a lot of good, staff members in there. It was more of a family environment than a work environment. That's exactly what I look for. And, I had a good feeling because everybody was saying so. Alex Glaze, WJZ.
I think congratulations and welcome to Baltimore. I'm just curious, you're known for the past 2 years not giving up a sack. How excited are you to come to Baltimore and be on an offensive line blocking for Lamar Jackson, a two-time MVP and someone who has had a lot of success in the league?
I'm really excited, man. Biggest thing for me is coming in and, proving myself and, earning my role. I come in there's a lot of great players in the O-line room, a lot of great players on the team itself. So for me, being surrounded by great players like that is just going to make me better, and that's all I can ask for.
Brian Wacker, the Baltimore Sun.
Hey, Vega, congrats. Thanks for doing this. Similarly, how much have you thought about, blocking for this team as somebody who's kind of been long rumored here? And secondly, what particular one or two skills do you think you bring that'll really stand out for your role here?
For me, it's hard to not see things for how they are. I've seen a lot of mock drafts, things like that, of me coming there. I definitely picture myself blocking for, all those people over there, great players. But, for me, when I get there, I'm bringing, my pass protection. That's something I work on every day. Same thing for the run game. On the pass game, I'm coming in with, the mentality that I'm not trying to get beat. Nobody's going to touch my quarterback, and as simple as that. In the run game, same mindset of being a mauler. I'm trying to open up lanes for a running back, protect the running back in that case, and, just play ball.
Thank you.
Pete Gilbert, WBAL.
Venga, congratulations on being here. And I'm just curious, with being from Washington State and then playing college football at Penn State, staying here on the East Coast, is that something you're comfortable with, familiar with? And were you thinking maybe it could be a little closer to home? What do you think?
Absolutely, man. Been out there for 4 years now. Just got done in Penn State. It was no different for me. That's basically my second home, and I'm a treated as such. So,
Josh Tolentino, Baltimore Sun.
Hey, Vega, congrats, man. I got two questions for you. First, what are your immediate thoughts on teaming up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? And second, we saw you on TV with, it looked like a lot of family. Could you kind of take us, just describe where you're at right now and, who you got with you for a special night?
Absolutely, man. Everybody knows what great players those guys are, man. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, all those guys. And my thing is coming in and earning my keep. I got to earn the right to block for those guys. That's how I think about things. So, me coming in, that's my biggest goal. But here right now, I got about 80 people here. I got a big family, so 40 of them make up my own family. Everybody else is just, extended family who aren't really, related, but they're my family now. That's exactly why they're here.
Ryan Mink.
Yeah, Venga, can you just talk about your mentality when you take the field? I mean, you come across as a real nice, chill dude, but when you're out on the field, can you talk about your mentality?
For me, it's a switch that's taken me a while to perfect. When I'm off the field, I can turn it off and, be chill with the guys, be calm with the guys, and just kick it. But when I'm on the field, nobody's gonna stand in front of me and survive. That's my biggest mentality. I'm out there trying to move people off the ball, make them not get to my quarterback. That's always been my mentality, but it's a switch for me that I've been working on for a while, and it's doing pretty well.
All right. Any more questions for Venga before we wrap? Kyle Goon?
Yeah, just congratulations, first of all, but just the AFC North is known for having a very physical style of play. You're going to go against the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals a lot. What do you think about being incorporated into a division that's known for physicality like the AFC North?
That's exactly what I want, man. I don't want to go nowhere else where it's soft football. Football is meant to be, physical, all those types of things. And that's exactly where I think I can fit in.
Pete Gilbert? Venga, I'm curious about what you knew of the history of the Ravens and anyone you talked to about trying to learn more about this franchise and this draft process.
I'm definitely learning a lot, but there's been a lot of great names, great careers that have gone through there. My thing is coming in and trying to be one of those, using those as an example for me to follow those footsteps and make a name for my own self. There's a lot of history, a lot of greatness that's been through that building, that facility, that team. That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Any more questions for Venga before we wrap? All right. Well, everybody.
Okay. There you have it. His first words as a Baltimore Raven. You were just listening to the 14th overall selection in tonight's NFL draft. The Penn State guard, Sarah Oli Ihenachor-Yawan. And folks are already taking note of several quotes. Wildlife Wale says, nobody's going to stand in front of me and survive. That's the quote, and that's all he needed to hear. Linda E. with a 5th super chat here tonight.
He said, nobody is going to touch my quarterback. And he said, it's as simple as that. Nobody's going to touch my quarterback. Simple as that. And Linda says, nobody said that last year. She says, I'm in love.
So
He does have that note. It's funny because, Bobby, when they were asking him sentimental questions for himself, it was very almost like Tyler Linderbaum-ish. But then when they started talking about once you get on the field, then all of a sudden his language became very violent. Very violent and defiant, which, as Linda's saying, it sure is nice to have that mentality.
These two immediately picking up on exactly that. Thank you for the super chat. Sky God 64 _actual says, you think we could trade back in for a tight end tonight? Anything's possible. Anything's possible, Sky God. Paul is with us, Sarah.
Says, can Jones play center? You don't draft a guy in the 3rd and not give him a chance.
Well, he was a tackle in college.
Yeah.
He was a tackle at LSU and transitioned to a guard, obviously, his rookie year. Very small sample size. I don't believe he has center ability. I mean, I don't think he has center experience, rather. I don't know. I can't speak to his ability. But those were Venga Yawane's first thoughts as a Baltimore Raven, Sarah. But to your point, business, very business-oriented, very serious. Very short at times, but also not lacking any conviction.
He was also asked about the AFC North and how it's, the black and blue division, lots of physicality. And he's like, well, that's exactly where I want to be. He's like, I don't want to go anywhere where they're playing soft football. That's not what I'm built for.
Yeah. Well, you're in the right division then. Davon's here with us for you.
It says protection for 8 is secure. W pick for EDC LFG with quite a few exclamation points. A lot of people loving this pick, Bobby.
Oh, yeah. The unfamous D. Rice. D. Rice says that dude just looks big, mean, and nasty. He's a Raven through and through. Sarah, let's take a look at what's taken place here over the last few minutes since we were listening to Oli Levanga's opening sentiments shared as a member of the Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers are on the clock right now, but since Yawane came off the board, Sarah, Ruben Bain went to Tampa. Kenyon Sadiq went to New York. Blake Miller, as the continued offensive tackle run rolls on, goes to Detroit. Caleb Banks goes to Minnesota. Monroe Freeling goes to Carolina at 19. And Philadelphia has not yet been updated, but I bet Twitter has it. Still got to figure out what Howie Roseman did at 19 overall. But that is the way. Okay, here's what he did, Sarah. Howie Roseman went with Mekhi Lemon. The USC wide receiver goes to Philadelphia. He'll be working with Jalen Hurts. Will A.J. Brown no longer be there? In all likelihood,
that's what the reports are. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He'll be a Patriot.
Two very different wide receivers.
Appreciate the super chat, Jamie Berry. Thank you for being with us tonight. Looking slick in that cover photo of yours. And partner, we're working our way towards the back half. We are in the back half of this opening round. Pittsburgh next up on the clock. We'll see what the Steelers do to counter the Ravens. Chargers will be up next with Jim Harbaugh. And you see the rest of opening night here. Are the Ravens done? That remains to be seen.
I want to read the Beast breakdown of Ioane from Dane Brugler. Ioane both looks the part and plays the part. In pass protection, he is quick out of his stance and sports a stout base and commanding hands to anchor his spot. As a run blocker, he generates explosive power from his core to dig out defenders on drive down blocks, flashing the competitive temperament to finish. We just saw a highlight of him finishing, and he finished the dude twice. He doesn't move any faster than his size would suggest, but he stays efficient with his footwork and flexibility to be effective on movement-based blocks. He's not scheme dependent. Ioane is a thick, sturdy blocker who consistently holds his ground in pass protection and covers up defenders in the run game. Built in the mold of Steve Avila, he projects as a long-term NFL starter at either guard spot. It's a thick, nasty mauler on track to be a long-term NFL starter. That's the thing is I told you about his pass protection. We had 0 sacks and over 300 pass block snaps, but he may be considered even better run blocker.
And that right there, therein lies some of the reasons for optimism and excitement. Oli Ihenachor-Yawan is a Baltimore Raven. We've got over 4,300 concurrents with us tonight as we all react in real time, Sarah, to the 14th overall selection in Eric DaCosta's latest draft. We'd love for you to subscribe to the program. We're coming up on the 500 count to 30,000 subscriptions. Great community that we have with you guys, and you guys have shown up in droves tonight. Jamie Berry says, any word about Pickens and the trade for the Ravens? We opened up the night, Jamie, about that. Ian Rappaport reported not long after that nothing was expected tonight, alluding to the idea that maybe something happens over the next 48 hours. He has signed his franchise tag, which now makes him trade eligible. And we'll see what the Cowboys choose to do, Sarah, with perhaps a disgruntled player. Appreciate the super chat, Jamie.
Yeah, but there's no word on what happens with him beyond what Bobby said. But if you're asking about the Ravens, there's been nothing more than speculation about whether he could be a Raven.
Yep. So, tell you what, Sarah.
Tell me what? What?
I tell you what. We never really talked about this scenario, but being that we're coming up on 3 hours with several more picks left, do we call it a night? And if they trade back into the round, we hop back on with everybody?
I'm cool with that. I was going to suggest the same thing.
Yeah. I think we've analyzed this to a T. There will be more. Femi will be joining you tomorrow. You will be on at noon tomorrow, I believe.
We'll be in at noon.
Regularly scheduled programming. I have a flight to catch in the morning to Baltimore for a wedding. Unfortunately, I will not be involved with our day 2 and day 3 coverage, which I'm bumming about, but I'm the best man at my college roommate's wedding, as I've said over and over again, and I have obviously a commitment there. But Sarah, this was a chalk evening for this team. And while it may not be on paper the sexy pick by definition, as you said earlier today, it can very well end up being sexy for a team that needs to improve both guard positions. They've done that with John Simpson, but they may have done that even more so tenfold by bringing in Oli Ihenachor-Yawan with the 14th overall selection here tonight. Steve Schapp says if they don't trade up for Woods, go get Stowers or Rodriguez in the second round at 45. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be so focused on Pregnon and Basantis now at 45. You can go and maybe truly stick to BPA. And Sarah, maybe this was BPA. We'll never know. But maybe this was.
Wait. Actually, real quick, Bobby. We haven't heard from the team yet.
We have not yet heard from the team.
That's making me feel like there is going to be a trade back in.
That's why we're going to be very aware of what's happening over the next hour. Kobe Pruitt for you.
Says Vanga makes me feel like signing Njoku is a lock. I don't feel like. Why? Just because they didn't take Sadiq? I mean, they could still take a lot of good tight ends out there. A lot of good tight ends.
Steelers are going with an offensive lineman. Let me make sure I get this pronunciation right because we did it last night on the collective. Max Ihenachor. Max Ihenachor, Arizona State offensive lineman, going to Pittsburgh at 20. That's what the Steelers have chosen to do with the first selection in the Mike McCarthy era. J-Knob 86, Sarah, for you.
Get an offensive tackle. Okay, says last 2 years, Vanga had 0 penalties. Oh, I just love hearing that. 0 penalties and 0 allowed sacks. I knew that one. Great pick to address a need in the trenches. Let's go, Flock Nation. 0 penalties.
J-Knob. Appreciate the super chat, man. Partner, we in good shape?
We're in good shape.
We could very well be on before the night's over. You will have programming at 12 noon.
Yeah.
And you will be on at some point Friday evening to go through rounds 2 and 3. Whether or not that is after rounds 2 or 3 or during remains to be seen. We have a live stream that's currently set. Just to be clear with everybody, we have live streams set for 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. There's no guarantee that it will run at 8. It might be before, it might be after. Give Sarah some grace this weekend. It's her youngest birthday, and obviously I won't be there. So that's what's going on there for now. We may come on later tonight, depending on how this shakes out. But this will give us some time to get the audio only ready for you guys overnight. We have 3 hours of coverage for you to consume. We want to say thanks to Mantis Sleep for sponsoring tonight's Megacast. Thanks to Femi for dropping by. Sarah, we had over 100 super chat donors this evening.
102.
Which is pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Which is very cool. And there will be a lot more, Sarah, to dig our teeth into in the coming days as it relates to who the Ravens are getting in Yawan.
Don't go too far, Bobby. This feels odd. The Ravens haven't had their press conference yet. I'm just telling you.
Hey, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. No friggin' doubt. So hang on tight. And let's see what the Ravens choose to do over the next hour or so. I'm going to go get everything ready for tomorrow, and we will be ready. We will be ready just in case they're not done yet. If you could like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership this offseason. We would very much appreciate it. Stay tuned to your timelines and stay tuned to your notifications on YouTube. Turn them on because you might be hearing from us soon. Let's see if the Ravens have anything left in their back pocket here tonight before all is said and done. Partner, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for hanging with us tonight. Still north of
Appreciate
4,000.
Appreciate Yawane.
Heck yeah. Congratulations to your pick. You were all over this. There were quite a few people that were chalking, that were on the chalkboard, and it came out to be exactly that. A chalk pick for the Ravens, a smart pick, a safe pick, and one that will absolutely improve their weakest link from a year ago. There you have it. Appreciate you guys for being with us. Voltrons, thank you for all the support tonight. Thanks to Mantis Sleep. 12 noon Eastern tomorrow, if not before. That might be the operative term here, if not before. Stay tuned. We'll catch up with you soon here inside.